Welcome everyone to the LG UltraGear Face-Off featuring Fortnite. I am one of your commentators today, joined by Monster D Face. And Javier, I am so excited to be here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, we love being here talking about Fortnite. And, Kelly, we've had very few chances to really cast with each other. I don't know. I want to say today's going to be fun, especially jumping into creative. And, yeah, man, these maps are awesome.
Yeah, if you guys are just joining us and you don't exactly know what we are here for, well, we're going to break it down for you before we jump into our first match. This is going to be a creative match here. And if you haven't seen it, we're going to be hopping into Ultra City. It is a creative map with a capture point mode focus right there. There's going to be 3 capture points, but more importantly, we have to talk about the teams that we're going to be seeing here. Because Javier, we've seen kind of a 3v3 version of this, but this is going to be 7v7 of some of the biggest names that Fortnite has to offer.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of chaos here. So when you talk about the way these games are going to break down, typically you have these teams playing for these objectives, and it's pretty simple. It's straightforward. You know what's going on. Danger lurks around every corner. You take that, you amplify it. That's what today's event is all about, essentially. 7 players on the field. I'm looking forward to seeing what those comms are going to be like because, as you can expect. Everyone here is competitive on and off the field, but of course, when we talk about Fortnite here, it gets a little bit extra because there's a lot of money on the line.
There is a lot of money on the line, and only our first and second place teams are going to be claiming that. So, in the first round of 4 that we're going to be seeing, we're going to have a best of 3 match. You can see that stage 1 right there. The 2 teams that move from the best of 3s are going to be fighting in our finals for the best of 5. And there we have the breakdown, the lion's share of the $20,000, with $11,600 going to that first place team.
Yeah, it's a lot of cash there, right? So these guys are going to be fighting for it. We know it's going to get competitive. We know it's going to be very interesting. We also have NA and EU teams, right? So this is a little bit of both here. Luckily for us, the way, Fortnite Zero build has kind of hit the scene by storm. It's allowed everyone to get very much comfortable playing on each other's regions. So, today's competition is surely going to be fun. Small advantage to whoever gets the home server pick. We'll see how that works out. But let's just talk a little bit about these teams. Just a bit here, Kelly.
Oh yeah, first you see it on your left-hand side, stable Ronaldo with an average rating for his team of 1547. But, I mean, you guys know Ronaldo. He's been competing since 2019. He has over 1 million followers on Twitter. And all the way back in 2019 in the FNCS, he's actually placed first place back with the squad. So, expecting a lot out of him. And then, of course, Rhodey, a bit more of an up-and-comer, also has been competing for quite a while. And in fact, competed in the Twitch Rivals Streamer Bowl 3 that just happened recently. And most notably, he's a controller player, so always love to see some pad players competing.
You might be seeing some interesting stats in there. Team average rating. What does that mean, right? These are. Let's break it down for you guys. This is the total quality, I guess, of individual players picked to get thrown on a team. You'll notice that as we start to get the deep dive going, there are professional players on each of these, captain squads essentially here. The way things are going to break down though on the tournament tree, it's going to be NA and NA action out the gate, and then of course EU on EU, Wolfies and Coach Boop going head to head. The winners of both those matches will see each other at the next stage, followed by what will be crowning our champions.
I think I'm going to be a bit biased and go for Coach Boop here. He is on the FNCS EU broadcast, and you know him, you love him. But Monster, do you have, out of the 4 teams we have right now, a true winner?
I mean, true winner, probably Coach Boop. Heart decides, though, Rhodey, right? Rhodey's my boy. Love Rhodey. Love seeing him succeed here. And he's got one of those awesome communities, right? We talk about streamers and content creators that are, like, infectious to the scene. Rhodey is definitely one of those guys. He's got such a great attitude. And he's picked up some great players as well. We, of course, have already seen it, but, like, Vanessa and, Maddie, right? You can't help but love the team that he's put together, a bunch of great creators. For Coach Boop, however, he's got the bomb squad. He's kind of cheating at this point.
I mean, yeah, you saw the team ratings there. He had the most by a considerable amount of points right there. But honestly, I don't even think it comes down to who they've picked. I think it comes down to how much they've practiced. And to speak more on Rhodey, we watched him earlier actually practicing on the map. And guys, if you haven't seen it yet, you need to check out LG Ultra City. It is an incredible creative map. You might have seen the videos that we were showing earlier, but Liam and Stride from Team Beyond have done an incredible job building out this map.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had the pleasure of working with creative map builders in the past, Team Beyond especially. Like these are some of the hardest working and literally most creative individuals ever. They create these maps, these worlds, if you will, from the ground up. And, whenever someone like LG or whomever brings an idea to them, what they're able to produce to make such a fun and great product is honestly admirable. So seeing what they built today is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. They always add some extra little elements in there. And, the level of detail and attention that goes into these maps are just, is pretty incredible.
It is definitely incredible. And we have a lot of prizing and winning that our teams are going to be doing, but also you guys can have a chance to win as well. We're going to be doing some quiz questions throughout the day. And as you can see right here on the lower third, you have to follow in this channel to be eligible to win. So make sure that you guys are following right now on this Twitch channel for a chance to answer those questions and win an Amazon gift card for $50. Ooh, 30 each right there. So it's not just one or two of you that are going to be winning, it's going to be a handful of you guys.
And I was gonna also say, not from the individual channels that are being output. Go to the Twitch channel UltraGear Gaming, right? Make sure you are going to Twitch UltraGear Gaming, following their official channel. Answer those questions. It's gonna be some fun questions up there. Some of them are super lighthearted, so just pay attention. You'll pretty much win yourself some goodies. Go ahead and claim those prizes.
Oh, yeah. And guys, again, thank you for joining us here. We're going to be jumping into a best of three match first. It's going to be Ronaldo versus Rhodey there. And then after that, it's going to be Wolfies versus Boop. So that means a possible of three games. However, if it goes 2-1 team, that is going to be it and over. And they're going to make their way into the finals. And now we can take a look at the players that are going to be competing in our first match.
Look at that. Ronaldo pairing up with some professional players in there. I see Twexy kind of on the list, but Ronaldo's overall team average rating is the lowest of the competitors today, so he really does have a lot of just friends, right? People he trusts, people he wants to go ahead and get this opportunity to come game with, and then you jump on over to the sweaty side. Like, Rhodey's got some pros and some hardcore creators as well.
Yeah, I actually just saw recently Maddie Rose and Vanessa during the Women's of the Evening, a tournament that we had less than a week ago. So to see them competing again in this competition, I'm really excited to see how they are going to be doing it. And again, Rhodey, we saw already practicing this match, and hopefully he was practicing with his full team, because we saw a version of this recently in the FNCS All-Star map called Play for Keeps, but that was just a 3v3 of, the biggest competitors that FNCS has to offer. So to have it be 7v7 with three separate capture points available on the map, I'm expecting some level of chaos in our first game.
Yeah, definitely. And like we said, with three capture points comes strategy, right? You just fight for two. Do you go for the full domination of the map, right? And honestly, of course, how do you pair up with one another? What are those comms going to be like? Who decides who runs with who to what flag and at what point? So yes, I think team synergy is going to play a big part. That's one thing I would say Rhodey has going for him, right? The people on his team in general are all players that he honestly plays with on a day-to-day basis, creates YouTube content with, participates in tournaments with to have some fun. And then, of course, you have that little sprinkle of professional player in there, Elite Crip, down at the bottom, kind of probably carrying the team average weight up by a fair amount because of his, of course, finals appearances.
I'm really excited to jump into the map for UltraCity because the way that it's laid out is really cool. There's three capture points, as we said, and they kind of all offer different levels of height and verticality. So you have the docks that have these cranes and crates everywhere, which allow you to kind of have a high point advantage. You also have the shop, which is like a bit more of a condensed area, and then you have the factory, I believe, which also has multiple layers of availability to where you're going to be able to kind of like take point and have visuals over the whole drop map. But as you were saying, Monster, I'm wondering if we're just going to see kind of a 4-3 split between 2 points, because I cannot imagine only two or three players trying to capture a point by themselves.
Yeah, and not only that, it comes down to like how did the spawning system work, right? Like, do you
Ooh.
spawn at positions that you own, or is there a more neutral position that you go back to spawn at when you get eliminated, essentially, and you continue to reboot back in? So there are, questions to be answered, and I think again, the players that are playing right now, and they can kind of formulate the meta or the strategy. We'll see it play out here shortly, but essentially that little extra level of being able to play those maps early and try them out before you get onto the big stage is going to make the difference.
Yeah, I will say that Wolfies and Boop here have a bit of an advantage being able to watch the competition a little bit earlier than Ronaldo and
Sure.
Rhodey here, seeing what kind of meta, what play style works best here. Are we going to be seeing a lot of defensive play styles? Are we going to be seeing a lot of aggressive play styles? Well, we're going to be jumping in our first game in just a moment, so we're going to be answering those questions real soon, everyone, in our best of three capture point game, real quick with Ronaldo and Rhodey. But between these two players right here, and I know we've already kind of talked about it, Monster, who do you give it to?
Oh, okay. So from in between Ronaldo and Rhodey, yeah, Rhodey is probably definitely in the better position. We know he was already practicing, and when I went over to Ronaldo's stream to see what he was doing, he was definitely not on the map. So we'll just say that he
Maybe
was,
not even on the game.
yeah, distracted, right? So we'll see what Ronaldo's up to when he gets in here. But that's kind of the, I guess, the fun part about who Ronaldo is, right? It's that lax attitude, is coming in, kind of, again, playing into the character that is, yeah, whatever, let's just go for it. And he's got that fun attitude, so his reactions are where the content's at.
Yeah, I'm also excited to see if there's any items that have been banned or if it's just pretty much going to be a free-for-all right here. And in fact, our questions will be answered because we're going to be hopping in right now. And you can see his beautiful face on the left-hand side. We're going to be looking at Ronaldo's perspective right now.
Yeah, this is the beginning, guys. This is it. Right here, we'll see how things start to go down. Like we mentioned, we threw them all inside the map here. It's about capturing the objectives. Then, of course, moving on, you can see that in the distance. They can see them as well. These are those docks positions you were talking about. If I'm participating right now, I'm definitely going to try to play for the high ground spots. And more importantly, whichever two are the closest points to one another, trying to get some quick rotates out, right? And looks like Ronaldo's doing just that. They already have a couple elims. They're looking pretty good.
Yeah, trying to look at where the points are right now, but I don't see them on the screen. Instead, we're going to be taking a look at perspective right now. And it looks like everyone's pretty much equally spread out right now. It looks like Ronaldo's team confidently has docks there.
We're
But who
tripled,
is
we're
going to be able
tripled.
to claim
I got
factory?
side.
If I was Ronaldo's team and I was holding docks point, then I would only try and go for
Corey, I'm coming
the
in.
store that's in the middle. Factory is beyond the
I'm A,
store,
I'm A.
and that just
I'm
seems
A
like you're
with side.
spreading your team too thin
I'm gonna
right
camp
there.
this right here, Corey.
Yeah, also notice you can spawn in with no weapons, right? So you do have to work your way towards a loadout to go ahead and start capturing
Lock it
loot
in, let's go.
and of course, points as well. And one thing that we are noticing is that Rhodey's team is ahead. He's the only team that actually successfully is essentially claiming a point of interest or a flag here. They have almost 100 points now. Rom's team hasn't earned anything.
What? How is that even possible right now? Rhodey's team completely dominating the competition right now. And you can see everyone closing in on this factory right here. Ken Beans going down. And who is going to be next? Crip, although the pro player out of the team, definitely going to be the kind of the anchor of all the frags here.
Yeah, look at him. He's leading it, going toe-to-toe, doesn't care who you are. He's winning those as well. It's looking pretty good for Crip right now, making quick work in the lobby, swearing someone who's a partner Twitch streamer, family-friendly. Or no, actually, no, I'm lying. His name is Swearing. He literally swears. But he's a fun creator. He plays with all the boys, man. Love to see this guy get down. What I wanted to say is he's got a great attitude.
Yeah, you can definitely have a good attitude with some swearing there.
Yeah,
Definitely another pro, grabbing another elimination there. And the points just coming in, except for Ronaldo. Maybe there's something wrong with the points there, because I can't imagine them having 0 points right now out of 1,000. And just so you guys know, there is a 20-minute time limit on this game. But also, if a team is able to collect 1,000 points first, then the game is over. And it is going to be a best of 3 right now. So this is the first match. Looks like he's going to be making his way into the shop to claim that capture point. Now shifting focus back onto Rhodey. There we go. 259 points for the first team, 197 for Rhodey's team. So actually, Ronaldo's team is in the lead with 267 points.
There it is. I was going to say, wait a second, this is looking a little closer than we might have thought for a moment there, and it really is. Competitive. It's back and forth. There's that kind of airport industrial section that we were watching play out. Look at Zork here really popping off right now, and it all makes sense. Look at their elims as this team. Talk about breaking up into 4-3s. That's exactly how these teams are broken up. Ronaldo's team, currently his squad within the squad, is basically popping off there. They're already at 11 eliminations.
But when you were at this point where you can see that barely anyone else is trying to, actually I say that, and then he has a 3v2 come in on him right there. Crypt taking some shots. Zork going down to Crypt right there. So it looks like they're going to be focusing the middle ground, and that is the pivotal point, right? Because the shop's in the middle, and then you have the dock, and then you have the factory on either side. So whoever controls the middle point is going to have a serious advantage.
Yeah, definitely. You saw the Mythic Scythe coming into play there. It's such a good weapon for this interior area. At first, I thought it was that person didn't have a loadout, but no, that's actually a Mythic Scythe. You can actually do some big damage here and hold down a point of interest relatively easy, if you will. So this is what they're doing. They have complete domination of the center position, and it's really working out for them now.
And if you guys can't see it on the left-hand side, follow at UltraGear Gaming. That's the channel that you're watching it right now here. And obviously, a lot of our players are streaming their own perspectives as well. But if you want to be able to win a $50 Amazon gift card, you're going to have to follow this channel. And throughout the stream, we're going to be asking you guys some quiz questions. If you answer correctly, you have a chance to win that $50 gift card. But now, moving back onto the docks here, focusing on Ken Beans with 8 eliminations right now. My goodness. However, he's going to get quite low there, but not... well, he does go down.
Almost pulled it off here, but look, it's this change in strategy, right? They came on over to C. They say, you know what, you can have the center point. We're going to fight for this outside spot. As long as you have 2, you're effectively winning, right? You're earning more points than your opponents are. In these games, I was wondering how long or what the pacing was going to be like, but this is a lot faster than I expected. There are little to no downtime between all the opponents here. They are making sure that they're either fighting, right, and eliminating players, or straight up taking positions to get the points here for holding these POIs. And look at this, Rhodey doing just that. They found a new way into the factory now, coming from the top down. That might be the secret here. Yes, it is. And now looks like they might have a chance at fighting for B.
Yeah, I'm loving this scaffolding because it just gives them so many opportunities. Obviously, you have to have someone on the point. That's kind of the purpose of King of the Hill. But the rest of your teammates can kind of go and get high ground advantage right there, which is what we're watching. However, is that advantage going to be enough? Wow, getting away. Getting away with 1 HP, but eventually does go down.
It's okay, though. This is what it is. He's going to go ahead and hit that little reset here. Look at the points they're starting to add up. The gap has been closed just a bit there, as now they are pretty much rolling up onto that tie-ish mark, right? It's starting to approach the opponents here, about 40 points off. You might have lost that the distant point there once again, but Ronaldo, man, Ronaldo, we have not seen him actually go down since he's held this center point of B. This seems to be like his most comfortable position that he wants to hold, and it's this little machine right here. Exactly.
No one is even going to try and challenge Ronaldo right here, and I don't blame them, to be fair. However, he does eventually go down, just peeking in the wrong direction. Although there is a lot of hiding points in this middle ground, that doesn't mean that you were completely invisible from the rest of the competition. But Goofy Alays with 12 eliminations, and his teammate Ken Beans 11 right now. I'm sure we're going to be seeing close to 100 eliminations towards the end of the game, but we're at the halfway point right now. It is still a close competition between both of our teams right here, and looks like they're going to be going for the attack. Can Mickey get an elimination? Yes, he does, and it looks like they're going to be claiming this spot for their own.
Yeah, this is Team Rhodey now fighting for that B position here. It looks like they are going to go in and swing it on over to their side. Wait, no, needs a little bit more time before that color is going to change here soon. But look at Goofy's elims, look at Crypt's elims. They have so many. They definitely are trailing far and ahead from their teammates. Ken Beans, though, claps back now, swings around, picks up a little two-piece there. You can see the Siphon coming through as well, just to keep them up. Or actually, there might not be Siphon there. It seems like he did stay at 141 HP. So, you know, I think that's also interesting as far as how this balance of the game can play out.
Yeah, I think that a lot of these teams are going to be splitting up their most important fraggers to actually be off of the point so that they can kind of get a better visual from everyone that's around them and being able to take those high ground shots, because obviously all of the points are on the low ground. You can't capture the point even if you're above it. You have to be on the ground to do that. Taking those long range shots. Let's go, Ronaldo capturing objective C now. Ronaldo's team doing a pretty good job. However, the lead is only a 35-point difference.
Yeah, it's getting really close, but it's kind of been here. It's almost staled out at this same exact point gap. I don't know how long it would take to overcome them as you start approaching this last stretch here. So, you don't want to hit the point where it's mathematically impossible for you to come back. So they really have to swing things around ASAP if they want to stay in the game here and take round one. Rhodey Bros gets inside. Unfortunately, could not get the exchange he was looking for, but you can see him continuously looking back at that scoreboard, right? Flashing at it. Where am I standing? How close are we? Can we continue to hold out? Look at this. The points are starting to add up now, though, Kelly. Team 2 has officially taken the lead here. 742 with the point. That means Rhodey is up.
It's so close. There's not even... Oh, actually, they're tied now. Oh, my gosh. With only 250 points left in the competition. They are neck and neck right now. But I'm guessing Ronaldo's team was able to capture another point.
They're losing the flag.
Oh, no. Okay, let's hold it, Ronaldo. I think Team 2 is going to be Rhodey's team right there. So Ronaldo taking a lead right now, holding that middle point. That, I think, is going to be the meta of the tournament. Who can control point B?
No, I need you.
Yeah, definitely. You saw there from Ronaldo's perspective, he said enemy team captured C, so they definitely lost 2 flags. And now they're basically going to start bleeding out here shortly. They have to fight back for these flags, and that's why you're seeing a lot of defense pretty much being poised up. But I am also noticing those elims are definitely adding up, right? They're catching up. So that's why you saw the tournament get so close for a second there, is because of those trades, those back and forth of eliminations. You really want to be securing as many as possible. That's going to be the difference maker here as far as who's going to race to 1,000 first.
Oh, I love this, and I love that so many of these players have had the no-build practice, because obviously in this kind of tournament mode, no-build is very prevalent. So going into the competition right here, anyone that's been able to practice that mode is going to have a bit of an advantage. 2xe taking some shots onto Ken Beans. Ken Beans is getting low, but so is 2xe, and 2xe actually does go down. Ken Beans takes another one out.
Yeah, no siphon though, so you can see the overshield doesn't have enough time to also catch up either. No shield there is going to be pretty much make him a weakened target. So yes, winning, of course, getting those points, but and then at that point you're kind of inefficient on the field. But look at this, Team Ronaldo is up top right now. They are still trailing, just 80 points off now. It's becoming closer and closer. Team Rhodey has to fight back here if they want to win this one.
Well, they were able to take Ronaldo down, so hopefully that was enough to be able to claim that point. But you can see the points right now. It's still so far ahead. In fact, it's about an 80-point difference leading for Ronaldo. So Rhodey's team is going to have to do something crazy in the final moments here if they want to win game 1.
He tried so hard to capture that one, and he got taken out there just at the very end before it did take over. 30 points now separate them. I'm looking like it's going to be impossible to go ahead and come back here unless they do something just astronomical here. It's a very important fight for Rhodey. Can he win it? No, unfortunately, he goes down. It's another point to the opponent. And in just a couple seconds, it's all over. Ron hits the victory dance, and he knows it's GG.
GG indeed. Round 1 of 3 goes to the way of Ronaldo's team right there. But it's a best of 3, everyone. There is still a chance for Rhodey's team to come back.
That went down really quickly there. You can see from the elims, it's pretty well spread as well. See, I thought, looking at the team average, Rhodey's team had the advantage, but Ron steps up and he proves that he's put together a nice little squad.
I mean, it could have been possible because we only watched their past streams and we watched Rhodey practice. It's possible that Ronaldo was kind of practicing off stream.
No, you know what it is? He's just natural, right? Sometimes, you get that, you get that, what's it called? Beginner's luck, right? You just walk in. Whatever, let's have some fun with it. Comes in with a brand new, fresh perspective, and that little bit of extraness does end up working out. Look at this, the elims actually carry on over.
Yes.
You can see how it continues to add up. You see how much weight they're pretty much pulling here game to game, round to round. And look, Matty Bros unfortunately caught out again there. And look at this, taking minimal damage but dealing a maximum output.
Let's go, Ronaldo swearing, trying to get the peek in. Can he do it? It looks like it's a pretty even match between Ronaldo, but Vanessa comes in from behind while swearing distracts him and grabs that elim. Play's going to be dropping down in the factory, but goes down himself. With Mitchie looking at team C, or point C right there, and I think that they must have it because he looks like he's going to be going away, not able to grab that height that he wants to. Nope, going to be taking some shots onto Jeevan right there. Is he going to be going in for the point? Oh, unfortunately goes down himself.
Yeah, Jivin's going to go in and fight for this one back here. He's actually retaking this capture point, but he's going to jump off it as he fully takes it there. You see, once it turns blue, it's basically theirs at that point. And Ronaldo, you can see now looking around, they don't have C or A. They need to decide which one they're going to fight for, opting to go take C the same way they did in round 1, pretty much. And that mythic scythe in his hand is so good in close quarter combat. Not the greatest out here, but we'll see how it ends up coming through.
Well, towards the factory where there is a lot of close combat, I can imagine it kind of being a little beneficial, but yeah, once you're moving from A to B to C, it's not going to be that beneficial.
Got it right here. Let's see what he can do with it. Rhodey on the other side trying to go in and defend the point here as they do have B currently on lock, but you can see the color starting to change. It's being retaken. The scythe going crazy in the middle. Ron tries to continue to swipe away, but he does finally get eliminated there by Rhodey. Rhodey, however, is in a fight with a one-on-one against another player. Backup comes from the distance, and Rhodey goes down. It looks like they are going to lose B there, but not before putting up a fight, but actually they end up retaking it here. Okay, so now Ron's team trying to get the quick reclaim here.
Ronaldo going in. It looks like it's just going to be an easy claim for them. Taking a few shots kind of at nothing. Actually, they can see some heads poking through right there. Are they going to be able to actually take the elimination? And they're just kind of holding it pretty calmly right now. But if you have too many players on B, you can see that A was actually being swapped over. And then we have C over at the docks right now. 2xe is going to be taking a quick look, seeing if there's anyone around, and going to be claiming it for himself. I do like that a lot of these players are claiming it, and then they're stepping off of the zone, kind of allowing the opponents to think that there's a chance to claim it easily, and then while they hide behind the crates, poking out, grabbing that elimination.
Yeah, it's all mind games, and honestly, what I'm noticing at my first glance here is that these flags change hands pretty quickly. It doesn't take much to retake the flag, so you actually cannot let your guard down. The moment you're pretty much on the flag, it can exchange at any time. So it happens so fast, and you see there in the distance, there's a contested battle for C, but he can't just give away the B hold here, right? He has to come back on in, and this is why he's willing to jump down and take a full fight. 3 players on the flag. What can he do? They have a mythic scythe as well in play. Oh my gosh, Ron's movement is so good. He saw the range there. He almost had it. That was amazing.
Oh God, that was such a good cut too. Right before he slammed down to cut to a different perspective.
He broke
Ooh, Rhodey actually taking off his webcam now. You know what? I appreciate it. This is about the focus right now. This, although it's not the FNCS, this is a serious tournament right now, and whoever wins this is going to be going up against the winner of Wolfies and Boot. So we're taking a look at Zork now with 33 eliminations. My goodness. Honestly, if I was Zork right now, I wouldn't be on the point. I would be far away, allow my other teammates to claim that point, and just grab elim after elim. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to be doing here on the C point. No one, oh, actually, no, it looked like 2xe, or Jiven. How do you say his name?
Yeah, Jiven.
Jiven, thank you.
Yeah, he's been a part of the scene as well. Another content creator that kind of started, messing with the professional player scene. He kind of does a little bit of both. What I wanted to say though, guys, if you're watching the stream, 47 minutes. That's when the death slam is, right? Don't let me forget it. I gotta go back. I'm gonna clip that. That's just highlight worthy in its own. But back with Ron, right? Fierce competitor here, legendary pump shotgun. I find it so interesting how the loadout continues to change round to round as well. Like, you don't see everyone rocking the same exact thing. They're not necessarily equal. At times you have these mythic ARs in place. Other times now, like this right here, you see double AR in play. So the way and what you play for loadout wise can also give you advantage. We all know that legendary pump is devastating, and it just does seem like Ron is prioritizing loadouts that are going to work really well inside this industrial complex.
Ooh, Rhodey, though, grabbing a great angle there before taking a few shots to his left-hand side, but clear aims onto the B zone there. And another elimination takes down Ronaldo himself. I'm liking this. If you are a good fragger, you shouldn't be at the bottom. You should be up top of the scaffolding right here, getting good vantage points and being able to see the whole map and where all of your opponents are coming in, just like that right there. Taking a few more claims doesn't take the player down, though.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, it's a mythic AR, right? This is big damage. There's not much fall off here, and you can see that Ron's having an actual difficult time looking up and over that scaffolding. So, yeah, Rhodey is surely in the most dominant position. He's got the better weapon, but it doesn't matter. Ron's got the better aim there. It was all headshots across the board. Big players down on both sides. So Mythic AR out of play now. Legendary Pump out of play for Ron there. Big losses on both sides. Either way, though, Rhodey decides to go back and invest to pick up that Mythic AR once again, gets shut down again there. That's going to be a net loss for him as things start to slow down here. And look at this, Zork's at 37 eliminations. He is also using this Mythic AR all the way here. He's making sure that he puts himself in the best position for it, Kelly. And that's actually a very smart strategy, right?
Yes, definitely. Being on the roof right there, especially where you know that people are going to be using the launch pad to get that height. He is waiting for them. Unfortunately, that 1v1 fight turned into a 1v2 and Zork did go down. But looking at Ronaldo, who is in the lead, but only by about 20 points right now. It is still a close competition, but we're only about at the halfway mark. Ronaldo is going to leave B point and actually make his way, C point, and make his way over to B right here. And it looks like he's going to be going for that siphon once again. Grabs the Elam and another.
Did you see that? That's a 239. I don't know if that was just body or headshot, but if he touches you with it, yeah, you just can't get touched by it. If you get touched by that Mythic Scythe, Kelly, it is wraps.
Especially not just one, but there was two right there. What do you even do? Do you just run away and try and take another point? Because at that point, there is no chance that you're going to be able to claim it. Moving back now on to B right here, and it looks like it might be switching sides. Actually, it's about half and half, and Ronaldo going to be holding it strong for his team right there. In fact, if I was them, I would be looking to the other points because Rhodey's team is still so close.
Yeah, it is very, very close. I mean, that first game was definitely a close one as well. They only till the very end started to break away with more of a 100-point lead. Otherwise, it was pretty competitive across the board, going neck and neck. Even here and now, I mean, 20, 30 points is what separates them. But ultimately, it is Ron who is still in the lead, and these are some angles in here. They think they're safe down low. Little do they know, Ron's got this nice little side angle. He's really leaning into that right camera angle point there. And the visuals, right? He gets the visuals, Kelly. He knows exactly when the flag starts to exchange hands because the color code actually gives that away.
Yeah, also, doing the crouch below the bar. I'm a big fan of that. Gives him better angles. It gives him a chance to back out and move away. Rhodey going down real quick on the screen. Kanye now taking a few shots. Can he get the elimination? Yes, he does. And actually, I think I saw a siphon there, so not exactly sure how that's playing out, but Kanye going to be holding that point right there. Now we're going to be looking at Swearin. B point free, easy. No one's even claiming it right now. You can see Ronaldo up on the scaffolding right now, just waiting for the opposing team to step on his territory. Matty Bros unfortunately going down, while Twexy is holding the C point.
Yeah, this is a great hold here from Twexy. He's already at 31 elims as well, the biggest for his little squad right now, and that's another one to the mark here. Now, notice that is his flag currently, so they're doing a great job of maintaining it. Rhodey and crew, though, trying to fight their way back into it. Still have not found success of taking back that B flag. Having a great defensive shot there. See, so now they're holding A and C, right? They have them pretty much sandwiched inside. They're trying to hold these exit points. If they can effectively stop them from exiting the building, this is the way you want to play it. But now, you don't get those quick elims, you start to lose time. You can see what happens. That tide starts to change back. Things start to swing, and now all of a sudden the momentum is no longer in their favor. They lose C. They still don't own B here. And, Rezo Monster and crew are very much happy right now.
Rhodey's team was just 7 points away from taking the lead, but unfortunately, once you lose those players, elims might not be as important as holding the point, but obviously with more players, you have more chance to claim those points, and that 7-point difference now jumping up to a 40-point difference. Ronaldo is not leaving this point, though. Yeah, he's liking holding this B. We all know that B obviously gives you an advantage because you're between A and C, but the fact that Rhodey's team was able to claim A and C is a bit impressive for me.
Yeah, just watching the reaction face on Rhodey when he realizes, man, this guy's still up there, like, same spot. He's so upset because he didn't think to check there sooner. This time around, Crypt does the same thing, walks in, and it's just like a death trap here. Ron raining shots from above there, Kelly. It's a little too powerful.
And we saw Zork that we were seeing on the screen before. You can try and use the launch pad to get up on top of B point, but then if someone's holding the roof, which we saw earlier, there's really no point in trying to drop down there. So instead, it looks like the action is going to be moving on to the C point there. B is held so strong, they're going to have to spread out. And in fact, the difference now going back to the way of Rhodey. In fact, I think there's only about a 15-point difference between these two teams. So Rhodey's team is not out just yet.
No, remember, with every elimination, you do gain an extra point there. And listen, Goofy, Rhodey, Maddie, like they have so many elims. I think they actually have probably more elims than Ron's team, but Ron's team has done a better job maintaining the objectives up until now. But I think they've kind of figured things out. Hey, if we just hold ANC and continue that, you know, we'll be better. Finally now, they find Ron from up top. And this is the first time we actually see a successful take back of B, potentially in the works right now. But Rhodey spooked on the position here, jumps on over. There's a player with the scythe. You have to be careful there. This is actually working in his benefit, the fact he's able to keep this distance. And look at this, still chugging along right now.
Oh my god, Ronaldo at one point was not holding any of the zones.
They took it. They actually won with a single point difference. The valiant effort at the end to not give up, keeping this competition nice and close for us. And that, my friends, is a victory celebration.
That was absolutely mind-blowing. I can't believe that they were able to hold points A, B, and C at one point all together. I mean, congratulations to Rhodey's team there with a 1 point difference. And now you know that they are feeling good going into this final game.
Man, the adrenaline must be so high for them to stay in the fight and come back, especially after that crushing loss the first time around by only 30 points. And this really just does show you anything is possible. These games are going to go all the way to the very end, tooth and nail. But what I'm most interested in is what did they learn, right? What were their learnings from that last game? Because it's pretty clear Ron kind of abused the spot for a long time. Once they figured it out and they got to him, you know, I'm sure they're all going to check their corner this time around and make sure, hey, who's up on this little mini cliff, essentially, this little mini scaffolding that's in between.
Yeah, in games 1 and 2, it seemed like the B point was the biggest focus, but now that is changing. C and A are the focus, and that is definitely Rhodey's team right there.
I was going to say, look at how he's playing it, Kelly. They're staying outside the building, using the launch pads to speed up their movements, but on the outskirts, right? Really fighting for A and C as opposed to going inside. Ron's team trying to do just that as well now. They actually fight for C. They have C and B here. So different strat for Ron. They hold mid and they want the outside point. Rhodey looks like, hey, you know what? I think it worked better for us if we can just continue to maintain the outskirts.
I really do like, though, Ron just being able to change up his play style so quickly after the success of game number 1. You know, we kind of saw Rhodey do that in game number 2, but it was as the game was going on. Ron immediately after game number 2 completely changes up his play style and gets off a B point to kind of roam a bit and grab more eliminations here. And now Ron back to the B point, but he's not on that scaffolding. Instead, he's going to be holding the point right here to switch it over onto his team, because Team 2 has a sizable lead for the start of the game, and Ron actually going to be going down.
Yep, unfortunate for him, but this is 1-1. The player who takes this next one, or the team who takes this next elim victory, we should say, of the round will definitely be moving on, and this is just a single best of 1, so you don't have a redemption chance at all. Today's pretty much a lightning event, guys. It's gonna go by pretty quickly.
Oh, and if you guys like this map, if you're intrigued in joining in on this, you can see in the top left side for LG UltraCity, we have the island code right there. So definitely go check it out. Grab some of your friends and see who can claim the most points, because right now, Rhodey and Ronaldo are showcasing just how competitive this map can be.
You know what's amazing about creative as well? You don't even need to have friends, guys. There's a matchmaking portal too. Like, hey, you're like, hey, Kelly, you know, I don't have anyone. Now what? No, queue up anyways. You can still get in games with other people and kind of experience this, which I'm sure others are going to be trying out, especially when you realize how competitive it can be. That 1 point last game, that's what we love to see. That's really what this is all about.
Wild. I can't believe it literally came down to 1 point right there. You know Ronaldo is probably kicking himself right now, and as he goes down, he's probably kicking himself just a little more. But still early on in the competition, about a quarter of the way through for the points, and Ronaldo's team is ahead by 40 points right now, holding 2 out of the 3 objectives right now. But Rhodey not giving up just yet. Too many players on either side of him, though, and he does go down. Ronaldo now kind of taking a peek over at C, but instead he's going to be holding B, and you can see where he knows the players are going to be spawning and taking those long-range shots. Not able to grab an elimination just yet. Actually, there we go. But just being able to hold off the players from being able to get near the points is so important.
And this is the strength of holding B. You have, especially when you get the flag in the back, right? Now they only have 1 point of interest they can come out of. It's that A exit point, and that's really what their strat has been. Similar to game one, they take B, they take the C flag, and essentially they hold the players out of the A point. So it's really what's happening right now, what you're seeing unfold. Rhodey has managed to pretty much infiltrate his way into the heart of the B section here. He's going to cause a little bit of chaos. This does seem like the entire team manages to find their way around. So they're dismantling this strategy from the inside out, now trying to turn things around, put the shoe on the other foot. But it's still a contested point for B for Ron's team. They do not want to let this point go.
I like how at the start of the game, everyone was like, okay, you know what, B point, we're not even going to focus it. And now like 10 players are here competing for this point. Vanessa and Swearin in the middle right now. Rhodey Bro is doing whatever he can, but unfortunately does go down right now. And now going to be shifting focus onto Ronaldo right there, who's going to be spawning in back into the map. It looks like A is so close to being switched over right now, but the lead is starting to lengthen for Team 1. I believe that is Ronaldo's team right there with a 50-point lead. Ronaldo having a bit of an issue there with some plants walking his way, and it looks like that is going to spell disaster for him, where Rhodey is going to be taking the high ground right now, and there is just so many shots coming from all directions.
Those builds a little deceiving there, thinking that he could fit through the window, but could not.
I can go top B right now.
Yes, you're right.
This
point gap is starting to open up here. We're almost at a 100-point lead.
I'm dead in B. I'm dead in B.
Gap building out
on
for Ron's team, and as they hold the two positions, as they continue to flush out elims from those exit points, I mean, it is becoming more and more clear that it's going to be a hard-fought battle if Rhodey wants to make it onto the next round here. Remember, basically, if you win this, you're guaranteed prizes. You're inside the top 2, and that's it. You know, you're a happy guy to fight for for the #1 spots in the big prize.
Mitchie now making his way over to the B point with Jivan just going to be staying on this right here, taking a few shots onto Lays, and the rest of his team going to be closing in. And he's just going to be sticking right here. Actually, no, now going to be rotating over. And I can only imagine the communication that's going on right now, because typically, or in the FNCS, it's just duos. We've seen trios and we've seen squads, but can you imagine the level of chaos that is going on in these comms for 7 players?
Yeah, I had to actually mute the cord a little bit there. It is getting a little too crazy. I'm sure you guys listening back are listening to all this unfold in real time. But for us, you know, I'm enjoying just watching along and casting over it. For Ron right now, though, look at how quickly they can take back these flags. This is what we talked about. Now we're watching the first instance of all 3 flags being held. Even if it's so briefly, I'm sure that's a quick spike in points, and this is why we're seeing them really starting to take the lead now.
Well, that's how Rhodey's team was able to win the last game. They were behind before the very final moment, and then they were able to capture all 3 points and take the 1,000 points with a 1-point lead right now. And I doubt Ron is going to let that happen again. No, you can see him sitting down in his comfy spot in B, but actually already rotating over to another point into C point as it gets converted over into the other team. Can Ronaldo clinch out this fight? And with it being a 1v2, the answer is going to be yes.
Yeah, I think I know what happened in game 2. He got a little too complacent with the elims he was catching on B, and when he stopped moving around, his team started falling apart. But it's pretty clear that now that he's staying nimble, he's on the move, things are looking so different. And look at his elims up there. 41 eliminations for that player you just saw on screen, Crypt, of course, popping off. And Ron's doing the same thing here as well, just doing his best to maintain defense here. They are 730 points to 500 currently, so they are so far ahead. This is going to be pretty tough to go ahead and come back now.
I love it, though. Even in game number 2, where it was a close match, everyone looked like they were having fun, being a bit charismatic, and now everyone is dead serious. Even though it is a creative mode, they want to win. They want to be able to claim the lion's share of the $20,000. But who is going to be able to do it with this being the last game of our first round of 3? It looks like it's going to be going to the way of Ronaldo's team, especially with Rhodey Bros going down right there in our shop. Can they do it? Swearin getting a little low, but taking some good shots onto Mitchie right there. Mitchie going to be dropping down, actually, taking Swearin out, as well as Crypt, but he needs to claim that point. There we go. You can't go too hard on the frags because you need to be able to secure that point.
Let's talk about great map balance. All of the points have like layers to it, right? There's different tiers. You can play the low area. Then, of course, you're not going to be able to cap for free. You always have to watch who's going to come up from above, and then those other additional entry points. So these points are really balanced out, and you know, we unfortunately only get to see a couple rounds here. Like we said, there is literally just a best of 3. This is it. Whoever ends up closing out here, which at this point is going to be Ron, will be able to move on and face the EU team, and we'll have that EU head-to-head happening shortly. But Ron's got a big smile on his face. I think he's figured it out here as they start entering into the last stretch here for the last 100 points. That it's their game, and they got it in the bag.
You know, we can say it's their game, but we did see in game number 2 them lose all 3 points, and regardless of eliminations, you're not going to be getting those points that you need. So, you know, tortoise in the hare, don't get too confident just yet. Make sure you're still playing the game that you need to, because Ronaldo is getting quite low right there, and it looks like B-Point is going to be moving on to Team 2 right there. And there's still 100 and some points left to be able to claim this game, so Rhodey not out just yet, grabbing the elimination onto 2xe, grabbing the elimination onto Ronaldo right there. Yeah, Soul's going to go the way of Ronaldo.
Hey, you know, let him fight back. They're definitely fighting back here, just trying to stay in the game right now. He's continuing to pick up and pad up these stats. These are all highlights, right, for of course, the community that's watching live. And, man, Rhodey with no HP. He's just gotten better at this point. What's going on? What is it with him in the last game stretches? They suddenly start to turn online and really get active. They own, once again, just about all 3 positions except for A here, who does finally manage to go back to Ron's side. But if Ron's team takes this B flag, those points are going to start to add up quickly. We already saw the elims come in there. And yes, there it is. Now with the last 10 points, they can cruise to the victory here. Once again, Ron hits the signature dance there, Kelly, and it looks like we'll be seeing them in the next round.
And with the appropriate elimination and the big smile on Ronaldo's face right there, that is going to be our first winning team. And they're going to be going up against the winners of Wolfies and Coach Boop, everyone. So big shout outs to Team Stable, Ronaldo right there, and all of the incredible players that competed, but also Rhodey's team putting up a great fight. I still can't believe game number 2 came down to 1 point.
Yo, big GG's all around, and absolutely, I'm with you on that one. That reaction from Rhodey winning that game too, that let's go, was so surprising. Then, of course, it was down to a point. We saw it here, you know, pretty much front row seats. That was incredible to watch play out. I'm sure he's happy about that. You know, unfortunately, again, this is a single elimination. So, you know, once you're gone, you're gone.
Do you think that we saw kind of a strategy develop, especially towards the game 3 there, when Ronaldo was kind of holding a height onto the B site, being able to see where the players were going to be spawning? Because once you see where they're spawning, it doesn't matter if you're in A, B, or C. You have visuals of the whole map, especially on top of that roof where he was kind of sitting for a little bit. So I'm expecting to see Wolfies and Boop's team kind of incorporating that into their own meta, but I'm also excited to see how they're going to change things up a bit.
Yeah, it was pretty clear in game 1. Players figured out, hey, if we hold this middle spot, take this high ground, we can actually pretty much shut players down rotating out of A. A does seem to be the weakest point so far on the map, because just have that doorway that you're going to run out of, that mythic AR. High ground, you're out in the open, you can't build. It's pretty tough. It takes about a 3-man rush, coordinated, if you will, to go ahead and get the player on the roof.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to see that. I thought that for sure point B was going to be the most popular, and we definitely saw that be the case, but that whoever held point B was going to be able to take A or C pretty confidently. But there was moments there where Ronaldo's team was holding B, and Rhodey's team actually had A and C separately. Obviously, if you're having a bit of issues, it's going to take a way longer time, even with launch pads, to be able to make it to the opposite end of the map there. So again, really excited to see how our next match is going to be playing out. Ronaldo going to be making his way into the finals, which we're going to be watching in just a moment. Of course, we have to get into our second match, which we're going to be doing in just a moment. But for right now, everyone, I believe we're going to be taking a bit of a break, and we're going to be watching some highlights. So thank you guys for joining us here for the LG UltraGear face-off. Remember, follow this channel right now, because we're going to be doing some giveaways for $50 Amazon gift cards.
Dead and B. Nice. We got B. Another one. Beans. One coming. One One coming C, one coming C. Beam, dead. Hold AP, and we... No, we lost by 1! Let's go! Killed one.
Welcome back, everyone, to the LG UltraGear Face-Off featuring Fortnite. We just wrapped up our game of Ronaldo versus Rhodey, and although it got very close, stable Ronaldo able to walk away in a 2v1 victory. But Monster, what a crazy game 2, where it literally came down to 1 point.
Yeah, it was so close. And watching that reaction from Rhodey was literally everything. That was what we hoped to see in a competition like this. So, man, shout outs to Rhodey, but also shout out to Ron, man. That last game was straight domination. Seems like they figured things out. So I'm kind of afraid what the next matchups are going to look like a little later. But also, Kelly, we talked about, I guess, the advantage of being able to watch those games go down. These next two should be pretty competitive.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfies and Boop kind of got to watch the previous match to see what was kind of the meta in that competition. And we even saw within the match, within the games itself, the meta evolving. We saw Ronaldo kind of staying on the top of B point where he was in the scaffolding, able to grab a great view. And even beyond that, he was on the roof of it, watching where the opposing team was spawning in and just grabbing those much needed shots and able to dominate that final game right there. But I mean, who knows what is going to be happening in this next competition, especially when we saw Coach Boop have a stacked team, Monster.
Yeah, he definitely put things in his favor, but we know from that first game that just because you have a great team and the points are high and your average KDs looks amazing doesn't mean you're necessarily going to win because Team Ron on paper had a lower overall average team, right, as far as the skill and stuff like that. So take a look at Team Wolfies and Coach Boop's team rating overall. Once again, favor goes to Coach Boop, his team in particular. He has Vico, ET Money, Kovacs, Till, Pride, right? All, of course, amazing players. On Wolfie's side, he's got a couple, again, content creators and regular players as well, kind of lowering his team average. But ultimately, it just comes down to who's paying attention.
Yeah, I really like the fact that our coaches here were able to pick their own teammates. So possibly picking some, anchors, but also picking their friends, picking people that they want to showcase in the competition here for the LG UltraGear Face-Off. And also, Chad, thank you guys for joining us right now. We've already wrapped up our first quiz question, but we still have more coming. So make sure that you're following this Twitch channel right now for the chance to win those $50 Amazon gift cards. But between Boop and Wolfies, I'm going to go with Boop, and maybe I'm a bit biased. He is part of the FNCS broadcast, and Wolfies, although a cool name, I don't see him beating out the average rating of 3,800.
True, but hey, there's something to think about here. So we have, like you said, the FNCS talent, of course, of Boop, but we have a professional brain on Wolfies, right? What kind of players, what did he see in these players that he pieced together? Because, again, the numbers don't lie. It's kind of the same story for Ron and Rhodey. Rhodey, who, of course, maybe plays a lot more than Ron, but Ron's got that pro player brain, and he put it to use when he pretty much configured his team. Boop looks like a happy man right now. It looks like he's ready to get after it here.
Yeah, Boop, interesting just watching here on the loading screen before we hop into our first game in chat. If you want to be a part of this creative island that you can see just above his webcam right there is available to everyone, so go check it out. As Monster already said, you don't need friends to jump in here. You can pretty much just queue up and be able to join. Ooh, here we actually have it, everyone. The LG UltraGear Face-Off live quiz raffle, everyone. So one, make sure to follow, and two, answer the quizzes posted on the chat during the live competition.
And once again, keep in mind, guys, it's on the UltraGear gaming channel. For those of you folks tuning in from the other streams being output here, make sure you check out twitch.tv/UltraGear gaming. The questions, very lighthearted. Don't feel intimidated. Get on in there, involve yourself. And most importantly, make sure you are following so you're eligible to go ahead and win those prizes.
I wonder if we're going to see another 2-1. It got very close to it being a 2-0 knockout in the previous match, but I feel like this competition, although Boop does have a higher team rating, I think it's going to be a closer competition.
Yeah, I mean, I follow Boop very closely on social media. He's been tweeting out for the last couple of weeks as he continued to put his team together. People fell out. He's like, hey, I need a pro. Hey, I need a content creator for this, that. And he's actually checking everyone's PR and whatnot. He is such a tryhard when it came down to the numbers. He was really trying to get as close as possible. So he wants this prizing, I think, a lot more than Wolfies does. At least, again, according to how great he was able to configure his team this time around. But hey, the lobbies are getting ready right now, and we should be jumping in shortly.
Yeah, just as a reminder, everyone, only the first and second place team are going to be eligible for that prizing, and that finals is going to be a best of 5. So another addition to the competition right there. And I believe first place is going to be walking away with about $12,000, of course, split up between the 7 players there. But we saw just how chaotic the 7v7 can be. There was moments where the teams were spread out between A, B, and C points, but there was a moment where I think 15 play, or not 15 because that's impossible, but at least 10 players were on that B point, fighting each other, eliminating each other. So I want to see how exactly we're going to watch this. And without that being said, we are jumping into game number 1 for our second match. Wolfies versus Coach Boop. Who will be walking away in first place? Well, we don't know that yet because this is round 4. But first, actually going to be going on to point C right there with Boop taking some long-range shots.
Wait. Yeah,
it does look like, team, you know, it just depends. Where do you spawn and then how things go from there. Team 1 is going to be Wolfies. Team 2 is going to be Coach Boop. Whenever we jump into these perspectives, keep in mind, guys, if you see a blue flag on the visuals there, that does mean that that is a team-held objective. If it's a red flag, that is an enemy objective. So those are how they're going to continue to fight back and forth for it. Just as we continue to follow the action, you can see Boop's team just gets wiped over there, then forced to the other side of the map, on over to A, and they don't actually hold A, so they're in between this kind of spawn junction here, and Jay has an eye on them, and this is what I'm talking about. You can tell where the players spawn and create strategies to hold them out.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out for Cry too well there because he was eliminated on that vantage point. But now making a move on to our second team here, and it looks like we're going to be rotating over to point C as it is claimed, but can they claim it back? Eliminations coming in right now, and it looks like they're just holding it pretty strong right now. This player coming in and with a clean swipe.
Wolfies didn't like that one. He did not like that one at all. His head goes down immediately. He gets one tap by the mythic Sipe there. Man, you know, at first, like I said, I wasn't sure what the Sipe was going to be able to bring to the table, and then you saw it go into play when Ron swang at that player the first time, it hit for 239 body shot. I knew it was devastating.
Boop taking the high ground advantage here and dropping down into C point to claim it for himself. It seemed like a pretty easy transition there, so I'm guessing the rest of the opposing team is moving on to B and A right there, ignoring the docks because Boop's team just seemed to have that pretty confidently. But we can see moving back onto Wolfies here, just a head poking through, grabbing some shots, but another player going to be taking some shots onto him. Wolfies able to connect, but not being able to knock him down. And you know, there's only so much you can do right here. When we saw Ronaldo doing this, we saw him kind of looking around the whole map. But it looks like Wolfies is kind of focusing. Actually, everyone is focusing Wolfies right now, and although he did a great job, he does eventually go down.
Yeah, you can see from the other perspective what it looked like. He came on over. Cried had just enough HP to go and win that exchange out toe-to-toe. But man, I'm impressed with Wolfies and his ability to just keep calm under those circumstances, although he had the disadvantage there. Here's a look at Coach Boot from the Spec Klein, of course, and you can see that all those players are kind of spread out very much evenly. Both teams just trying to get a footing here, but it is still a back and forth battle right now, but Team 1 for Wolfies, his trio, really holding it down. Not the trio, excuse me. This team of 7 holding it down right now with a 100-point lead.
Yeah, I'm so used to saying trios or duos now because we have FNCS, but this is a 7v7 chat here in yeah, it's a party. Here in UltraCity, an incredible creative map made by Liam and Shride from Team Beyond. So again, check out, you can see right above Boop's head the Creative Island code that you need to type in right there. And Boop actually taking the sneaky approach there, does get shot, but can he clean up this fight? It looks like it's going to be 1v1, and the opposing player does eventually go down. Boop now going into point B, going to be trying to claim this for his own team, and it looks like he's going to be able to do it pretty securely.
Yeah, definitely, and I just want to give another hats off to the creative team that put this together. Like, it's the little details, like you saw how the transparency between the glass windows and the way those interactions play out, especially on the roof, the way the openings work out. You can jump inside from the roof to place from different angles, but it also works as a form of cover. Like, these maps are built together so beautifully, and look, just talk about that transparency. He's looking up through the glass to see if there's anyone up top there, to see if they're looking down, lurking to jump on in and of course get that advantage over them. But Wolfies, man, he doesn't stop, constantly on the move, not like Ron in game 2, who is, you know, finding his little locations and playing kind of stale, stiff.
And does go down, and we have Boop moving his way back on over to the dock here. And actually, he's going to be just looking at where the players are spawning, not even looking to over where the point is. And he needs to be doing that because it looks like his point is about to be taken, grabbing a few shots onto the player, but not able to grab an elimination. Actually have to give a big shout out to the opposing player right there, using those pillars to his advantage.
Boop was pretty shocked to lose that fight there. He had the full advantage, comes down with about a 100-point AP lead there, and unfortunately couldn't fully connect. Here's Wolfies, dumps into 2-man squad. That's not going to work out. Yikes. Eden is up top right now, holding it down here. Just about leading in elimination, second best on his squad right now. So pretty good for them. On over to the other side, Till, who's sitting at a Big 10 as well. On Boop's team, Siphon action. Cutting down players. They actually have double Scythe in the rotate here, trying to get to Team B here. They're shutting it down.
Why would you even try and go into that zone? Oh my gosh! Was that like a Street Fighter execution, or that was just Mortal Kombat? But my goodness,
we're holding B beside. We're holding B beside.
Right here. No one is going to be able to even attempt to take B point. So Boop possibly going to be leaving B point right now and moving his way over to C, which was taken. Wolfies holding the height on the roof for B, watching the being able to watch C, but Wolfies does eventually go down. Yikes, now holding the roof there, and a great vantage point. In fact, Wolfies coming back up, trying to claim his spot once again in a 1v2, able to take down Yikes, and another shot coming in, able to take down another player. Let's go, Wolfies!
Yeah, it does look like Siphon is actually enabled. Wolfies is regenerating HP as he's finding these eliminations. That's actually huge. But what I want to talk about, Kevin, we talked about the potential of new strategy being developed, because you got to watch game 1. That's the first time we've actually seen double utilization of Mythic Scythes like that, right? In combination with one another. Pretty, I think, clearly, definitively strong when used with one another.
Well, especially at B point right here, which it has a lot of scaffolding, it has a lot of structures kind of obstructing your view, so you need those close quarter fights. But if you're moving over to C, which is the dock point, it's a little less viable because a lot of the things are more long range, a bit more open, and that's where we're going to be seeing the ARs and shotguns instead. But B point right here, definitely working out for that Mythic Scythe. But what can happen right now as the team is able to take B point right here pretty soundly, but the point difference is starting to get quite large. Team 1, Wolfies' team, taking a dominant lead of about 200 points.
Yeah, being able to hold those positions, not only, of course, the eliminations matter here, it's really about the objectives.
Yeah, I'm just here, I'm behind
going to be what honestly staggers
one more.
from any one side. Swing that pendulum, but Boop seems to love that Mythic Scythe. Unfortunately, could not connect, just out of range there onto the opponent. Wolfies loves the roof. We're watching playstyles kind of come into play here. More often than not, he comes up here and wins these battles. We'll see if he ends up getting this one. Surely does, and that Siphon does end up kicking in. Keep in mind, this is really cool that they actually enabled the overshield mechanic as well, right? Something that is new, introduced to Fortnite. So it's not just 200 HP when you're at max health, you're actually at 50, somewhat of a juggernaut on the field. But that health advantage doesn't matter. Wolfies will chop you down, even although they're coming in with that fresh spawn. He's just better.
And although the overshield is great, with how quickly this action is moving on, I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to get that overshield back up unless they're in a bit of a lull of action like we're watching Boop right now. And it looks like he's going to be closing in on the opponent right there. The player running away from Boop. Boop getting so low and does go down. Oh no, Boop, you're going to have to change up your playstyle for the next game. Or it was Wolfies. Oh no, Wolfies dropping down right now into B point, grabbing another elimination. You can see 3 of his teammates right here, confidently holding it. And you know, I haven't really seen too much action happening at the A point.
I think it's Raps. I think it's Raps. Wolfies is on a tear right now. He has not been eliminated since the last time we saw him on that roof. He continues to just light up the feed here. And now fighting back for the point. Finally, he does get shut down. Momentum gets put to halt there. Boop's team managed to secure 3 flags. It's a comeback situation. Points starting to fly up for Boop's team. And look at that. Wolfies is completely stale. His team has not earned a single point. This could be a comeback story. Same like we saw in that second game with Rhodey up against, of course, Ron's team. Hold up. Finally now, Wolfie's team does end up securing a point. But that right there, Kelly, is the scary part about the game. You never really know.
Oh man, Boop, he was so low and went into the middle of the action right there. If I was him, I would have stayed on the roof and just tried to give some comms to my teammates right there, but with so much going on, I can only imagine how hectic it is and how hectic the comms are right now. But back to the focus onto Boop, using the launch pad to get up into that second height for a V-zone. That was actually quite interesting right there. I like that little play, but it looks like he's kind of having a little bit of confusion if he wants to go to C or B point. In fact, he is going to go to B, help clean up this one player. 2 players actually, I should say, but that was a 4v2. Too many players on one team is focusing on the fights. They need to be spreading out, trying to capture these points right now, and I think that's where Boop's team is falling a little short. They're going for the frags, they're not going for the objectives.
Yeah, we saw for the first time there the MK7 coming out in play, so there's some variety you can pick from. It's pretty clear that the pro players, though, do want to just opt into regular AR and, of course, the shotgun, legendary shotgun of choice. But this time around, a little bit of a mix-up, so nice to see more variety here, right? Coming out of Boop's team, trying something new. SMG's also in play now as well. It seems like they just unlocked a whole new tier of weapon. Not sure if this is just like a hot fix. We just kind of got enabled Siphon, SMG, more weapons. Hey, let's get a little bit crazier here on the map.
But you can see the point difference there in the top left side of the screen, chat. It is gonna probably go to the way of Wolfie's team right now, with only a few more points needed over Boobs to claim this game 1 out of the best of 3 match. And it is over.
Yeah, just about. There it is. That 1,000 point comes in. Wolfie cracks a little smile there. Okay, keep it as cool as we all know Wolfie's to be. Feeling good about that. LG's UltraGear. Nicely done for him. Team Wolfie's Tames game 1, right? Gives him the advantage coming into this now. Mentality there. He can do this one more time. His whole team's walking to what will be at the minimal a little over a $1,000 payday.
And not even going to wait for the next game. They're hopping right back into it. This is a best of 3. So with Wolfie's game going to him in game number 1, this could be it. If he wins this game, then that is going to be a 2-0 victory, and he's going to be going up against stable Ronaldo's team in a best of 5. And how dominant Wolfies is right now, you know, I want to say that it's going to go to the way of him over Ronaldo, but I also think Rhodey, but I think Rhodey practiced a bit more and was more of a competitive team for Ronaldo.
And keep in mind, Boop put together the bomb squad when it came down to the raw stats. Like, his team is so good. But unfortunately, I don't know, man. Something's in the water because Wolfies is
He's going to help us here. We're being
exceptionally here alongside with the rest of his party, if you will, his whole team that is put together.
Boop taking some shots there, and does actually, Wolfies goes down right there. Coach Boop still holding strong for Team B, and it looks like a lot of the other players from the first team is going to be making their way over to B. Will they be able to grab? And the point is yet to be said, but Wolfie's now making his way. Actually, we're just going to be switching over a lot of perspectives right now and moving our way back to Wolfie's team, who is holding B. B just seems to be where all of the action is.
Yeah, definitely. And I like how it's kind of split up right now. If you notice, all of Wolfie's team is rocking the same exact fit. And like Boop's team's doing the same. They're like in a superhero fit. So it almost kind of seems like a team battle right now. If you just want to follow along, guys, because I know it's a little chaotic. There's a lot going on the screen, but I like how they try to get really sweaty with this. And here it is. Once again, that scythe comes out and chopping away here.
Yes.
It's so powerful when you can invest and save enough to pick it up.
Once again, 4, if not 5 players were on that 1 point, and Boop trying to make his way over to C does get eliminated right now, giving Wolfie's team a chance to claim this spot, and that is exactly what they're going to be doing. I feel like a lot of these teams are kind of going heavy onto B, and they need to be splitting up a little bit more. I don't even think we've seen some action over in C, with Boop and Wolfies just holding down this fort right now. Some shots coming up from the roof right there, but Wolfie's going to do a pretty good job staying out of their angles. And in fact, the player's going to run away, take a launch pad up, but it looked like almost both players went down right there. Boop going to be looking at his loadout right now and using the launch pad to get back onto that coveted B spot.
Look how quick he manages to get in as well. It seems like he's done this a few times here. Legendary Pump is great, but you have to hit this shot. And it looks like panic sets in. The pressure is on, and Boop misses a few. That time he does end up hitting a huge shot there, but Wolfies is the man with the plan here as he manages to find all the tags needed. But it looks like Boop's team has taken over the industrial area, center position of B. Like I said, they're all inside these white superhero fits. So when you see them come through mobbing like that, that is Boop's team in full effect.
Moneymaker there, hopefully making some money with his 25 eliminations, but now taking some long-range shots onto C, and you can see the difference. There's, what, 2 players at C compared to the 7 that are fighting at B. It really seems if they just kind of shift focus a little bit, let go of B and take A and C the way that we saw Rhodey do, that this might shift the favor to Boop's team right now, but they are just kind of tunnel visioning onto B spot, but now focusing on C right here. Wolfies does in fact go down. 2 players holding C, one of them actually leaving, which means that there is only 1 player holding C by themselves. And you can see the opposing team taking advantage of that. Now closing in right now. Are they going to be able to turn it around? No, it looks like they were actually able to stop that player.
The points are a lot more competitive this time around. It's not as big of a gap as we saw before, so things are definitely staying pretty close to chest here. Almost very much like the first set of NA games where it was pretty close. And team that was down have been coming back, and right now we're watching Boop's team put up a valiant effort for what could be a potential comeback to extend us into 3-game series. But as of right now, Wolfie's team is still in the lead, up by a full game set as well. Take a look at Till here from Team Boop. What can he do? Gets 1. Can he get the 2nd? Great tracking, but not enough to go ahead and complete the tags needed. Just like that, things swing back around. Because Boop's team looks like they get completely shut down, and the industrial position of beat swings back into Wolfie's position.
Everyone coming on to this point right here. Gabby gonna take some shots onto Cryad, but Cryad does eventually go down right there. And another 1v1, actually no, it's a 2v1 with Wobbly Whale going down. Just every few seconds a new player is spawning, a new player is coming in here. And you know, I actually like what Wolfies is doing right now. He's not trying to stay on center point, he's going long range, taking a few shots. In fact, they should probably take a note from Ronaldo, get on top of that scaffolding, because that's kind of second height. Everyone's dropping in on the low ground or the high ground, but not that mid ground right there. By staying there, kind of crouching down, being hidden, quote unquote, might give them the advantage that they need.
Yeah, you know, we really haven't seen any, I would say, you know, new techniques or any recycling of strategies from that game one at all, actually. There's so much, I would say, places to hide inside this B spot. It's almost like Wolfies listens to us now. He starts playing the scaffolding there, finding these little side angles. On the other side, though, Jay, this is again representing for Team Wolfies here. He managed to secure another position. That's the C docks. And looking around all the distance, looks like once again they have a 3-way domination control onto all the positions. So the points are going to start really jumping up for, of course, Wolfie's team, as Boop's team is stagnant. And look, now they break way past that 100 threshold. They're really starting to open up the gap here.
But Boop's team is able to claim at least 1 point right there, so hopefully able to close that gap just a little bit. We see Boop making his way back to B, but he doesn't look right. He went straight for the left side, and I believe he actually did go down right there. Wolf is now focusing on the C point, where there's been some action, but it hasn't been as chaotic as that B point, which again, we see Boop dropping in right there. Is he going to be shifting his focus onto C? It looks like actually a lot of the action is going to be making their way over there. They're realizing that B point, although it is the center of the map, might not be as important as we originally thought. Ooh, Boop taking a moment to pull on his gun right there. Is he able to clean it off? And a 1v2 tries to run away, but unfortunately goes down just a second too late to clean up that first player.
Yep, but look at this. Now it looks like Wolfie's team just took back the B spot, so Boop's team actually managed to fight their way back in it. Once again, maintaining a little bit of control here, closing the distance. It's only 80 points or so that separates the two, so wait for them to really claw their way back into the competition when it was looking like a runaway train for a second. But once again, Team Boop on fire right now, controlling B and A. They have the lead advantage here for the Flags. If they can just continue to maintain control here, I mean, this is their opportunity to finally, for the first time today, see a lead in the points.
Let's go, Boop. Come on, man. You can win a game. I believe it. We're watching his focus right now, but he unfortunately does go down, and so does Wolfies. But Coach Boop, we can watch a different perspective right here, is able to grab an elimination before he's able to go down, but Groovy Gorilla going to be able to hold that point for his team. And we're coming back on to Wolfie's perspective as C slowly shifts over to the opposing team. Actually, no, it does go to Boop's team right there, so he's going to try and claim that once again, and it looks like he's able to do it pretty soundly. They know that there's an opponent right there going to be taking some shots, but he unfortunately does go down himself, where Boop is going to be sitting pretty on B. Actually, looks like he's rotating back onto Docs. You know, I think just A point doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's, you know, very much like a double-edged sword. Every time they fight for C, they end up losing B, and it's just, you know, a deadly exchange back and forth over and over. A flag is controlled by Wolfie's team, being contested back now, but you know, again, Boop's team kind of lost the grip there for a second. They get fully eliminated. Lost in the sauce at B, trying a little too hard to maintain this one, and they just lose all the opponents, the opposing Flags as well.
I love it though. Every time we see Boop go down, we see Wolfies go down and vice versa. It seems like they're kind of going down in tandem with each other. But now Wolfies team 3 strong onto B right here. And it looks like actually Boop's team is just leaving it alone. Actually taking a few shots right there, trying to defend C point. But there's just so many sides. What are they going to do?
Uh-oh. Wolfie's down to 1 HP. Stretch that. He gets taken out. MK7 in the distance, so Boop's like in range and he's got the chopper out. But it's taken out there. Keep in mind, whenever you get those upgrades, these are costly upgrades, so you want to get as much out of it as possible. Otherwise, you fall behind in the economy. You know, it is honestly best when we see teams coordinate their big investments to try to work with one another and support each other. Look at this. For the first time here, we see Boop on the offense of playing recapture for team or Flag A. And from Boop's perspective, it shows us A and B are completely down. So, you know, the more that they fight for C, the more likely they are to lose those other ones. This time around, they'll playing for the triple flag contested. They can take all 3. This is another chance. Man, they're just continuing to stay in the game, though. I really appreciate it.
Let's go. Although it is still about 100-point+ difference right now, they are fighting to stay in the competition because if they lose this game, yeah, who's that right there? Well, they're out. They aren't even a worry anymore. And we got 2 players holding on B right now with one of the opposing teammates trying to just take a few shots, trying to take Boop down, but it's actually them that goes down instead. But you can see the audio signals going off in every direction right now. The competition is going back onto B, and actually looks like we're going to be taking a look onto A right here. Wolfie's finally making his way into the store, grabbing an elimination. It looks like he's going to claim this spot for his own.
Yeah, he's not happy with losing A here. No longer controls B or C in the distance. It's all a fight to go ahead and take these flags back. His team Boop manages to jump their way right back in. Now only 50 points separate them from the opponents here. So somehow they actually managed to claw their way back in with a couple triple contested caps there on the flags. But Wolfie's playing defense here, almost baiting them into A at this point. You recognize that they were hungry for it. Looks like they're trying to just coast their way to the win by holding one flag. This is smart play from Wolfies, and that's a competitive spirit of him coming in full attack.
Honestly, if I was Ronaldo and watching this game, I would say we're holding A because no one is paying attention to it. And with that being said, Wolfies is going to be the winner of our second match. Big shout outs to Wolfies and his team right there, going 2-0. And of course, we have to give a shout out to Coach Boop right there, putting up a good fight. It looked like it was going to be a 300-point difference, but in the final moments of that game right there, closing the gap.
Yeah, really, honestly, respect Boop, man, keeping his head in the game there, keeping his mentality in check. Unfortunately, again, it's a single elimination. If you don't get ace, if you don't just get one, you get no money. You can't get paid. There's so much money on the line as well, just for getting to the next stage. But hey, it is what it is. Wolfies fought hard for it. They end up getting that double back to back, and then of course they'll be seeing Ron in the finals.
So, Wolfies versus Ronaldo Monster D phase. I can only imagine the chaos, and hopefully we actually get to listen in to some of the comms because we already heard Ronaldo's comms a little bit earlier. Absolute madness, and I can only imagine going up against Wolfies how much more stressed they are going to be. But I gotta ask you, going into our finals, which is a best of 5 chat, who do you have?
I think Wolfies is looking like he's in top tier shape, but honestly, Ron's games were pretty good. Like, and Rhodey had a solid team, so I think there was more competition between Ron and Rhodey's team there in that first game. So honestly, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Ronaldo right now.
I have to agree. I feel like we weren't able to see the full potential of Wolfies. And again, Boop did a great job, but I feel like they kind of just held that confidently and they didn't have to pull out maybe some pocket strats that they were practicing. So Wolfies and Ronaldo going to be going up. Regardless of who wins this match, though, they're all going to be walking away with some cash. But we do have to give a shout out to Rhodey and Coach Boop, putting up a great effort, especially Rhodey with that 1-point difference, game 2 victory right there. I'm hoping we get to see that in our final match.
Yeah, and in the highlights as well, we definitely want to see that recaptured and ran back one more time. What I was going to say was, one thing I noticed about Ron's team, he wasn't triple capped, like, ever. I don't think there were many exchanges like that, so Wolfie's team definitely, I'd say, being a little bit more complacent, not necessarily playing on top of the flag. They were triple capped several times, which can be a big game changer. You saw how quickly those points start to stagger in the other direction. So if Ron and crew played the way they played last time, they were very much defense heavy, like sitting on that B flag, very much poised up, stationary, as opposed to what we saw, a lot of movement coming out of the EU boys. So two very different playstyles. We'll basically find out which is the better for the game mode shortly, but there are very much different game styles, play styles coming into play here.
Cannot wait to see how the final match is going to be working out. It's going to be Team Ronaldo versus Team Wolfies, everyone. And once again, make sure to follow this channel because we are doing some quizzes throughout the stream to give away $50 Amazon gift cards. But you have to make sure to follow this channel right now. We have 2 matches down, only 1 match, best of 5 to go. Who will be the victor? Well, we don't know just yet, but we will right after this highlight break.
What about frag comes in?
Killed 1, 2, dead. Kill me. Got him. Oh, what is that? Got him.
Set him up.
welcome back for the final time here at the LG UltraGear Face-Off featuring Fortnite. I am your commentator and host, Kelly Link, of course, joined by Javier here, also known as Monster D Face, and we are going to be jumping into our finals match, which is going to be Stable Ronaldo versus Wolfies.
Yeah, it's going to be a good fight as well. We already know that Ron hailing from NA, so it's a proper NA versus EU matchup you have going down
Ooh.
right here. Wolfies, of course, popping off against Coach Boop, really giving us, I guess, a little shroud of mystery. Is his team really, really good, or did Boop not necessarily come up to expectations? Hard to tell because Boop's team definitely had the best overall average eliminations as far as KD and PR goes. So I'm still feeling it out. I don't necessarily know where this is going to go, but my gut's telling me Ron might be popping off.
Yeah, because on the opposite end, we saw how close it was between Ron and Rhodey, but Rhodey was practicing a bunch. They won game 2 by 1 point right there, and we really weren't able to watch if Boop was practicing a bunch with his team right there. Maybe he just grabbed a bunch of stacked players and was like, okay, I'm going to wash my hands of this and then just compete when the tournament goes live.
Right.
So I do feel like Ronaldo, although it was a closer competition, probably has just a tiny bit of an advantage over Wolfies.
Yeah, he might. He just might. And you know what? These games are going to definitely tell us just that. Now, the difference between this and those opening rounds are, of course, we're looking at a best of 5 here. So the team who can secure, 4 victories will essentially.
3.
Or is it 3? Okay, 3 in the best of 5. Yeah, you're right. 3 in the best of 5 will go ahead and walk away, take the crown here this time, as opposed to the 2. So it's gonna be more competitive. It's gonna be more of a back and forth. And if our first and opening games are any kind of indicator of what we're here to look out for, we know that it can go anyway at any moment. Wolfie's team in particular has some weaknesses in getting fully capped. If that happens here up against a team like Ron, then it could just be refs.
I obviously B point has been the focus for all of these matches in our first match and our second match. But what I think we saw, especially from Wolfie's team in the last game, was that A is kind of being ignored. Anytime there's too much action going on B, the players seem to go over to C, which is the docks. But literally, Wolfies was holding A point by himself. So if I'm on Ronaldo's team and I watched that game that we just watched, I'm going to send at least 2, maybe even 3 players onto A there and possibly ignoring B, because it's not like B being in the center of the map gives you more points. It just gives you a positional advantage.
Yep, and that could be the difference, though. It just depends, right? Both teams did a great job, at least in their first games. Whoever controlled B early does have that advantage to start watching the spawn points early, which can, all of a sudden really tilt, I guess, the favor in your direction, big time. But we've seen every type of play out already. It's pretty clear that the Kings of B have won, at least so far, and we haven't seen neither Ronaldo's team or Wolfie's team not be successful at B. But this time around, someone's got to lose essentially. So another cool thing about Wolfies that we noted out there, they were timing their purchases, their big purchases, coming in with a double mythic scythe at the same time. So some fun strategy developing there as well.
Yeah, I felt like we were watching CSGO or Valorant there, where the economy played a big part of it. But now going to be taking a quick focus onto the top of Ronaldo's head right there. He really needs to change up his webcam. And, just grabbing a mid-game snack, looks like he is aware that he's on the screen.
Hello, Ron.
Oh, can you guys see me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys?
How
What's
you
up,
doing,
man?
Ron?
How's that bottle
Hey,
cap?
It's doing pretty good. I can, somewhat hear you guys. What's up, guys? How's it going? I'm ready to take on Wolfies.
Yeah, so what's your thought going into this game right now? Did you watch any of Wolfie's match?
Did I watch? Of course I did. And you know what I saw? I saw mid. He was mid. He was not good. He was not bad, but he was mid, He was just in the middle, so I feel like taking on him with my team, it's going to be easy.
Okay, I'm feeling the confidence. Listen, the one thing I saw that was different from your play, Ron, compared to all the other ones, you had the best spots in the game. You were holding that B scaffolding. They didn't even know where you were, bro. You're like a ninja out there. At this point, are you going to use the same strats? Are you going to mix it up? How you feeling?
Well, I actually took a note because you told me to go A. I heard on your stream because no one defends that from Wolfies.
Oh, he's got the strats.
I like
so
it.
I do have
like
the
it.
strategies.
Also, Ron, I gotta know, in game number 2 against Rhodey, it went down to 1 point. What was going on in the comms at that moment?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of mistakes on my team. I have someone who sold their Ethereum at the lowest price. I have someone who gets on the game once every other week. We're all over the place right now. We're focused on the game now. We're trolling a little bit. I think it's time we really focus up on this next game. You're gonna see something you've never seen before.
I believe it. I believe it. Listen, Ron, I know you're capable of whatever you put your mind to. One of the biggest brains in the space. And I mean, listen,
Thank you.
as the superstar gamer that you are, you can pick up anything and just be the best. So honestly,
Stop.
I'm already
Javier,
feeling
come on.
the Ron right now.
Monster, I love you, man. I love the broadcast. I love this sponsorship. I'm excited to get into this UltraGear final against Wolfies, and I'm just ready. I'm in that mode.
Here.
Oh, yeah, we are ready too. So, Ron, thank you for joining us here for this interview right now. Anything else to say to any of the people watching and all of your players right now?
Guys, shout out to UltraGear. Shout out to everyone coming to the streams. We're about to take it home for the gang. Here we go. I will see you guys soon.
Good luck.
Thank you, Ron. Yes, that's what the confidence coming out of Ronaldo there.
Yeah, Ronaldo's one of the more fun people in this scene. You saw him his bubbly personality comes out, and this is what people love about him. He's a goofball on and off the field, but hey, he's talking to smack, man. He's ready to bring it to Wolfies. And if I know Wolfies the way I think I know him, he's probably thinking to himself, like, all right, you done woken up the beast.
And, we were talking about it. Wolfie's focusing on A, but as a solo player, Ronaldo now talking about using that to their advantage, potentially going to be claiming A spot because, again, out of the, 5 games that we've watched, it was a best of 3 and then it went to a 2-game. Pretty much no one was focusing on that A spot. But with that being said, I believe we're actually going to be having Wolfies, the team captain of the opposing players against Ronaldo, is going to be joining us for a quick interview as well.
Yeah, this is exciting. We get to hear from Wolfies and Ron. See, Wolfies gets that clap back though, right? Because Ron kind of set the field. He said what he wanted to say. Now Wolfies gets to sort of respond here. I mean, what do you think? You think he's gonna feel aggressive, Kelly? We're gonna get a good Wolfies. What are we thinking?
I don't know. I'm excited to see how he's going to be competing. I'm sure with how dominant his win was against Boop there, that they're probably, feeling pretty good. That snowball effect is very important in Fortnite, regardless of what mode that we're playing right now. So I'm sure after a 2-0 stomp against Boop, that they're going to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just letting the team know we're ready to pull Wolfies up here to see what's up with Wolfies. Because I mean, like I said, Wolfies coming off the hot win. He actually has that small advantage as well, potentially here, right, Kelly? Because he just played the game. So being that he played the game, he gets to come on in. He's still hot, whereas other teams had taken a little break.
It looks like we might be taking just a break before we hop into this interview right now. But again, guys, if you have not been able to check out UltraCity right now, it is an incredible creative map made by Liam and Shride from Team Beyond. Please go check it out. We have the code posted pretty much everywhere on our stream for you guys to be able to play it yourself. And also, make sure that you're following along with the stream. Make sure that you actually follow the Twitch stream because then you're going to be eligible for a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card. We've been quizzing our chat just throughout the games, and we asked you guys some pretty simple questions. We asked you, what's the title of this stream? And we're not just giving 1 or 2 gift cards away. We're going to be giving around 30, 40 gift cards, everyone. So please be a part of this stream. Try and win some extra dough.
Yeah, not only that, like you said, these are very lighthearted questions. Anyone can win these. It's literally free cash up for grabs. So do yourself a favor, get out there, go ahead and play for those. As again, we're just preparing up Wolfies, getting him ready for this conversation, getting ready for the interview, right? A lot of pressure comes in after you got to step in after Ronaldo. So I'll let things settle for a second.
Also, especially when someone as confident as Ronaldo comes in and says that we're just going to win. We should have asked him, is it going to be a 3-0? How far does he think he's going to win over Wolfies there? But unfortunately, we weren't able to grab that. Soon we are going to be able to get Wolfies in our chat as well for a quick interview to see how he thinks he's going to be doing against Ronaldo's team. But I don't know. I think after watching those games right now, Ronaldo might have a bit of a lead.
Yeah, but I'm gonna talk up Wolfies. I'm gonna make sure I give him all the energy he needs, set his mental right. You know what? he may have beaten Coach Brew, but I'll give him a little bit of the coaching advice since Brew's probably not going to help him out at all right now.
What? You don't think Boop's gonna help him out, especially being, part of the EU boys? You
Nope.
think Boop's too salty from that loss?
We're talking over $1,000 each player. Bull's pretty salty, and he tried to meta sweat the loadout. He went pretty hard on getting the best players with the highest PR and KD possible. So no, he's not happy at all.
If you guys are just joining us right now, this is the LG Ultra Gear Face Off featuring Fortnite. We have already wrapped up our round of 4, and it was Ronaldo versus Rhodey, and it went to a 2-1 to the victory of Ronaldo there. After that, we had another best of 3 with Wolfies versus Coach Boop, and that was a bit more of a deciding match with Wolfies winning 2-0. But for me, highlight of the day is definitely Rhodey's team beating out Ronaldo's team by a single point to the very end, everyone. It was 1,000 points for Rhodey and 990 points for Ronaldo.
Yeah, pretty big points, and completely different stories, completely different games for both the sides as well. So I am very much interested to see how this is going to continue to play out here. And again, all the players too, right? It's not just the captains who are up on the chopping block here. It's all the teams as well, right? The players. I think pressure kind of sets in across the board. So ultimately, it does come down to how can Captain Wolfies get the entire team ready for it? And we didn't really ask Ron, but who's hosting the lobby? Where is this gonna be played
Oh.
out? Because that's gonna play a part too.
It definitely is. I mean, obviously, lag can be an issue when you're using an international competition, as we potentially are facing right now. But I think what we saw from Wolfie's team in that last game was that they were kind of evolving their meta as they're playing in the competition. We even saw Wolfies taking a solo lead for A point right there, which was kind of ignored by all of the players there. Most of the focus was on B. There was points where we saw 10 players competing at B point. So I'm excited to see, are they going to be focusing C and A? Is it mostly just going to be on B like we've seen before? But all of that is to be said in just a moment before we hop into our final match.
And I'm checking out the Twitch chat as well. I see Rhodey popping in. He's talking about Team Ron, Team Wolfies. No, we want to know what you think about it. Hold up.
Oh,
Looks like we are catching some visual right now. Wolfies, what's up, my man?
Yo, hello, hello.
how's it going, Wolfies? Thank you for joining us right now. You're going up against Ronaldo, man. What are your thoughts?
I feel like it's gonna be pretty easy. I can't lie.
Oh,
Ooh.
I like that answer. So I was gonna ask you. I know you're not gonna let Ron just talk all his smack and walk over your team. I wanna talk to you about your team for a second. How did you get your team? Was it just like Twitter? Like, where'd you find all these guys? Because you just put together a pretty solid squad.
I'm not gonna lie. Jaren carried. He got all the people for me and like done all the Discord messages and everything. So yeah, props to him.
Shout out to him.
I mean, that's important right now. You can be the leader, but he's kind of the person that grabs everyone together. But I want to talk about the points that we saw. It looked like everyone was focusing B, but you were actually able to hold A point alone. Do you think that A is going to be a bit more of a focus in this final match?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to give too many game plans away whilst Ron's looking. So I don't know if I want to tell you.
No, fair.
No, that's a good one because he was definitely listening. If you listen to his interview, he was like, "Oh, I know some weak points. I've been watching this show, so we're not gonna ask you too many about strategies. Definitely watching. I guess any last words for Ron and his community? Like, what do you want to say to Ron as we start setting up the stage right now?
To be fair, I don't have too much to say to Ron. It's free. It's free for us.
I
Okay.
mean, love to hear that, but I do have to ask you about the map as an entirety because UltraCity seems like a super cool creative map. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, to be honest, I actually enjoy playing it. It's pretty different to like usual playing, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I guess all in all, congrats on making it this far. You guys are already technically winners, so yeah, best of luck for you as you start to gear up and get ready for this game.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Wolfies. I love it. The cell phone interview, that's what, if you have to get into that, that's what I want to see. And hearing from Wolfies, another comment of just it being an easy win.
Yeah, hey, listen, he's talking his talk. We definitely seen him walk the walk out there. We know he likes to hold rooftops to be, but he didn't want to play all of his strategy out. He's going to let the gameplay do the talk. And essentially, what we're seeing right now, though, Wolfies and Ron, they both believe they have the one up on one another. So we can expect to see some new strategy come into play here. Let's take a good overlook of the players once again as we start approaching this final rounds right here for the best of five.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for Ronaldo's team, we were looking at the pro player 2xe there. He had a lot of eliminations. There was times where he was going in 1v3 and just dominating the competition. Mitchie as well doing a great job holding the points. So excited to see how Ronaldo's team is going to be going here, but Wolfies as well. And you know, I love the honesty from Wolfies saying, I didn't really get this team together.
Yeah, man, he's respecting his team. He gave a shout out to the boys who pieced it all together. Man, it's something awesome about having a community that looks out for you like that. And you know, being excited, being enthusiastic. I think that's the benefit of having a solid team. And it does seem like whoever recruited the team definitely did a great job because they had the best performance on the day so far, the biggest gap lead. So we'll see what they learn coming out of those first set of games. There's a lot to continue to work on here. We saw a couple flaws in I think both sides of the gameplay here. But Ron, man, Ron's got, again, I wish I asked Ron too, how did he find his teams? Because there's definitely some professional players in there like Twexy.
Oh yeah, I mean, Resolve's a great player. We got to see Mitchie play well. Even saw a few plays from Kanye, Stan, Blue doing a good job there. So obviously you have to look at that team. But it was a close competition for Ronaldo. They went 2-0, whereas Wolfie's team had a dominant win 2-0. However, it might be argued that the team that they were going up against was potentially an easier competition. Boop, I love you. You do a great job on the FNCS, but you fell a little short in this competition.
Hey man, these kind of things are gonna happen. Pressure is high. You know, he does a great job when he's on camera talking down the barrel, but a little different when you gotta put your put your fingers into motion and actually hit those shots. I'm not gonna lie, he whipped a good amount of shots out there. I'm gonna have to DM Boop some aim training courses or something like that. Maybe one of you guys in the chat got a nice little map code we could share as well. And talking about map codes, guys, that Fortnite Creative Island is completely available to you guys as well, right? Listeners, if you're tuning in, you're watching here, that number right there, that little, let's see, 4, 8, 12 number, digit code right there can get you into the map. So plug it in, give it a try. Oh, look, Bruce says, what are these shots at me, though? It's not shots, man. You got dusted. What are we going to do? You're the talking point now.
Thank you, Boop. We appreciate it. You know, you took that loss so that we could have more to talk about, and I really appreciate that. And you know, you did a great job, Boop, just not great enough, especially going up against a player like Wolfies, who was confident going into this match against Ronaldo.
I'm not going to lie, Boop. It wouldn't really be so bad if you hadn't just picked all the best players with the highest PR, best KD, and all that stuff, giving us like a, oh man, I think he's gonna come in and dust everybody, and then Wolfie's kind of popped off. So you kind of did it to yourself just a little bit. Maybe we'll get like a little interview with you later to figure out, okay, what happened, what was the strategy? Because now I got to know.
Oh my gosh, I just heard Discord go off, and I thought for a second we were actually going to get Boop in for an
That'd be
interview.
great.
But I don't think that's the case, everyone. And actually, as you can see in our lower third right below us right now, we are doing some quiz raffles, everyone. But you need to make sure that you are following this channel to be able to be eligible to win those $50 gift cards from Amazon. And you can pretty much buy everything from Amazon. You could buy a boat from Amazon. So,
Oh god.
sign up. $50 towards a boat is some level of towards your boat purchase.
Hey man, it's $50 more you probably didn't have before. So there you have it. It's the LG, of course, twitch.tv/UltraGear Gaming. That's the channel you need to follow and check in with. And again, these questions are pretty light. We've already given some away. They'll be asked inside the chat, mostly during those break moments there. And that's how it's going to continue to work out. And I'm looking at chat here. We did get a response from Boop. His official statement was, "Can't blame me for having connections." that was his reasoning behind putting together such a great squad. Yes, Boop has like one of the best social followings. He is the man when it comes down to EU and having the competitive scene on lock. Shout out to Boop, man. We love to have you up here. And it was honestly a pleasant surprise. That was one of the few people I didn't expect to be a captain here today. But let's get back into the action. It looks like the Fortnite world is finally loading up. Wolfies and Ronaldo are going to be taking the stage here soon. The face-off is going to begin shortly. Little teaser there. They're starting to load in, Kelly.
Yeah, and again, chat, if you guys want to be a part of this action, if you want to play an Ultra City created by our incredible creative players, Liam and Shride from Team Beyond, the code is going to be posted all over the stream. So definitely go check it out. It is an incredible capture point mode right there with 3 different capture points. You have A, B, and C. C being the docks, B being this kind of factory for the LG Ultra Gear, and then of course this shop in A point, which seems to be kind of ignored. Ronaldo listened a little bit into those comms as we were talking in our pre-show, saying, all right, I'm going to be focusing A point now. But as we know, Wolfies was focusing that himself. So I'm hoping that we get to see some Ronaldo versus Wolfies 1v1.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see some head-to-heads. You saw Boop get up in there. He definitely ended up trading a few times up against Wolfies. You saw, the clashes between Captain Rhodey and, of course, Ron as well. This time around, though, everyone is starting to populate into the map here. Things are going to start getting interested. Looking at Ron's face right now, he's going to go straight to the roof. It's the same way Wolfies was playing his last game as well, so they do have that same strategy in play, but Wolfies comes out on top for the first exchange against Ron's crew, and they're already looking to fight for
right now.
Yes, I love that. Going straight for the roof. We saw actually both captains kind of doing that in their respective matches, but Wolfies, once he claims B, moving on over to A. We saw A being kind of ignored for most of the competition right now, and with it going to the way of Ronaldo's team, Wolfie says, no, that is my point. I'm going to be claiming it right now. And Wolfie's actually in a good spot where B and C is towards his team, potentially A as well. Ronaldo's going to have to be doing something to be able to change up the way that the points are going. In fact, I think all 3 is to the way of Wolfies.
Yeah, they ended up losing the A flag as Ron rotated through to B, now being caught in the middle. Almost wins the 2-man exchange there, but Wolfies team just a little bit better on top right now, dominating the field here. He is contested though, however. He sees too many footsteps. I love this smart play to wait out and then swaps over, purchases up the big boy to the side trying to get in close quarter here. That's a strategy we haven't seen play out yet. I think they're trying to learn the advantages of being able to purchase things mid-round as well. So we learn a little bit something as the games continue to develop.
Ooh, Ronaldo with a clean shot right there. I didn't even know that someone was there. And even though they had the legendary scythe, they weren't able to take down Ronaldo, who's about half HP, and unfortunately, he does go down once he makes his way into the B zone right there. Wolfie's claiming the B zone for himself, and in fact, Monster, you called it. It is all about this legendary.
Yeah, definitely. This mythic item right here is super, super powerful. It's got all the damage that it needs, but Wolfies is pretty lit up. Anything touches him, he's going to pretty much get wiped out. Ron's got his eyes on him, and he hits the headshot there. Now we know that anonymous smoke player is in fact Wolfies. He's going to fly really quickly to the hands of Ron and crew. And if you guys notice that, that's how quick you can take an objective, right? It's literally 3 people stand on it. It's basically yours. And that's why we see the points start to fly back and forth pretty quickly. Even now, owning C, owning B, almost owning A as well. This is a triple cap here coming in for Team Ron. Now, we know, though, players do spawn really closely on the side when there's no points of areas pretty much being held, so gotta be careful here.
Man, Ron doing such a good job right there, just grabbing Elam after Elam and making sure that he's focusing C and B. But now we have Wolfies taking on top of one of these crates right here, helping his teammate out hold C. And you can see in the distance, B slowly being converted over to his team, as well as A. Can they clinch it out, though? In fact, Wolfies grabbing another elimination right now. I feel like we're watching a new player compared to the last game.
Yeah, definitely. This is going back and forth here. And again, we're seeing that same playstyle from Ron. Notice how, again, defensively plays to kind of hold the general area and just waits out, lets the Elams basically come to him for the most part. Whereas Wolfie and crew, we talked about the way they play. They're very aggressive, always on the move, nimble type team. And it seems like it's backfiring right now as, Ron's just taking advantage of all the position. But take a look, Wolfie's on fire here. He's winning, getting a lot of Elams. B's kind of hard to take back.
Ron, though, doing what he does best, sticking on top of the roof here just so they can have good visuals. And he sees that C is a little low on opponents, so he's going to try and go over there, but unfortunately not able to see the player behind him and does go down. And A, just no one. What is going on with A point right now? Zork going to be holding A by himself. I tried to warn both of these teams. Guys, send at least 1 or 2 players over to A. You can stick the rest of your team on B if you need to. But Ronaldo going to be taking the second height right now. Ooh, grabbing a clean elimination right there.
Yeah, definitely a big elimination. Nicely done for him. Look at the split there on the builds. A flag being held. by what looks like Ron's team. As now it gets swung on over B as well, and all of a sudden Wolfies has to fight back here, down a full flag here. Yo, Ron's popping off. Look, he's already at 12 eliminations by himself. Got a quick little glance there. Ron's team is really dominating right now, having a great start, great kickoff here.
I honestly love this perspective of the spectator mode so that we don't see how close the points are, because I kind of want to be surprised right now. I don't actually know who is taking the lead because we can't see it. Now, there we go. Now we can see a quick lead right there. 420 points to Ronaldo's team right now. Going to be going back onto that B side, grabbing an elimination and claiming the B for his own.
I mean, this is one of the fastest games we've seen, like already approaching the halfway mark, and it almost feels like we just began. Like we're only now starting to see things settle down, and it's not really based off like tons of eliminations inside. It seems like whatever his team defensively is doing on the doors, the entry point, is working out, right? Because they're shutting players down before they can even begin contesting this B flag.
I do like the synergy for Wolfie's team right here. They're all sharing the same skin, and I don't think that's the case for Ronaldo's team. And although it might be kind of a target on your back, I also think that it does help you be aware of where, especially when it's a 7v7, who you need to be shooting at. And finally, some focus onto A, and Wolfies actually is just going to poke his head, grab that elimination with one of his teammates, and then leave, allowing one of his teammates to just kind of hold that spot, because again, no one is focusing it. I'm so confused why everyone is hard focusing B and then C, but ignoring A.
Yeah, that was finally a turning point for Wolfie's team there, as they finally managed to get 2, and you can see Ron's team's points completely slow down, right? He's only now just barely hovering in the 500s there, when before it was flying up super quick. So just like that, the story can change. That's how quick all of a sudden now Wolfie's team is winning the game currently, as far as just holding control of the points. And once again, when you don't have any of those points under control, you're spawning on those side areas. It's very predictable to know where you are coming from.
Ronaldo went for the A claim, but unfortunately 2 opposing teammates were there to take him down. Wolfie's going down in the B spot. And then Ronaldo, once again, just jumping onto the B point right here, grabbing some height, although not really taking any peaks or angles until just now. Now he's going to be looking down, just sees the ankle of an opponent. In fact, one person tries to jump in on him. Ronaldo so close to taking him down, but just misses it. Wolfie's now going back over to the dock and to claim this spot where no one is contesting him.
Yeah, no one contesting this general area is huge for him. You can see he continued to glance at the map there, just making sure, or the scoreboard, making sure he's doing okay, figuring things out. Someone's going to go and jump for B. Doesn't see Wolfies here lurking behind. I'm pretty sure this is Ron. This is the fit he was rocking before. Might be a full finish. No, actually, that's Kanye there from Ron's team. Groovy gets taken out by Zork here as well. So shots going back and forth. So you jump on over to Ron's squad right now, doing a good job maintaining the long distance, but just like that, you know, not playing on top of the flag. They lose the flag even though they're picking up Elam. So those Elam points are great, but it's really that ticking, recurring point that you want to be fighting for.
Ooh, Wolfies knew exactly where that was. That was communication coming from his teammate that was on that C point right there, grabbing great angles because the opponent didn't know that he was there, and able to get that elimination while barely being able to see the opponent. Now going back onto B spot, because it looks like B and A are now to the way of Ronaldo. They cannot allow them to have 2 points right there, and they are just cleaning up shop right now. My goodness, Elam from Wolfie's team.
Yeah, he's popping off, and they're sticking as a unit right now. You see 4 or 5 of them sticking with one another. That's a difference in play that we haven't really seen work out so much for some of the other teams, but it's working well for them. They just can't be stopped at this point. Ron once again gets shut down there, and they're taking quick take-backs, quick recoveries from these flags that they're losing. They're not wasting any time. There's really like little to no downtime for them right now.
Yeah, there is no downtime for us either, because there is just so much action going on right now. 740 points for Team Ronaldo right there. This is such a close competition right now. Ronaldo taking his favorite spot on top of B, going back to the scaffolding so that he can just have some good angles, and good angles is going to help him grab that elimination right there. And he's going to looks like they're going to be able to take point lead? Not yet, but now he's going to be sliding in. Oh my gosh, an elimination out of nowhere.
Yeah, look at that. We're already jumping into that 750 plus threshold. This is the back half. This is the late stretch right now, and it is very, very close for Wolfie's team. They do need to continue to pick up some more flags. A just goes down, so he knows there's a player lurking nearby. On B side, something completely different comes into play. The shield bubble comes out. That means no one can fire in. It allows them to maintain safety here inside, and just like that, they take back B. So new strats, new weapons, all types of utility coming into play here. Ron's team really fighting for game one right now.
Oh my god, the comms coming in right now. It is absolute chaos, but Ronaldo, one of the more passionate players out there, keeping his cool, and he needs to, as he is barely in the lead with 843 points right now. Action is going on, dropping down to the B spot. He's going to have to try and grab some few tags there. In fact, he's actually going to be leaving it and moving back onto C as he sees all the focus going back onto B. You know what? It's nice to grab the middle point. It does give you a positional advantage, but you need to focus on the spots that have no one on them, and that is exactly what he's doing.
They have a really good rhythm going right now, too. Fast rotates back and forth, really not wasting any time here. The momentum clearly in Ron's side. He finally does get shut down. They're going to lose C. They already own B here, so this is Wolfie's chance to finally come back. He's continuing to glance at the points there, trying to see how close he is. It's only getting closer and closer. 90 more points here in the final stretch. Ron's team only holds a single flag, so they're not gaining much very quickly. They have to fight back for 2 or more, or they will potentially lose this game here.
What is going on in the comms right now? How can they even understand each other as everyone is yelling over each other? Wolfies and Ronaldo going down over and over and over again. Hopefully his teammates are having a better chance at staying alive and holding those points, and that looks like it's going to be the case for Ronaldo as he is in the lead. 950 points. He's going to be making his way over to C. In fact, they are holding all 3 points right now. Look at the smile on Ron's face.
He knew he had it. Here comes that victory dance once again. Little look of concern for a second there as the game doesn't end as fast as he would have liked. So he does have to still be very much cautiously on his toes here, but it's the final stretch right now. The double side play comes in. Wait a second, they're going to lose that one, but no. The game should end there. Victory round 1 goes to their team. Ron, and great job for them. Wait for them to pop off. A 70-point difference.
Oh, and Ron with the 22 eliminations, matching to Exy right there, showcasing just how good he is as a pro player, holding it down for his team. Welcome to UltraCity. Everyone, if you're just joining us for right now, LG UltraGear reached out to 2 creative players, Liam and Shride from Team Beyond, to create this amazing map that you guys can play right now. Just above of Ron's webcam, you can have the Creative Island code right there.
I didn't click anything. It just switched me.
Yo, thank you for the 1,500 viewer host.
Oh, that was so weird. It looked like game 2 they won?
It switched our teams.
Yeah, that one might just hit a quick little reset button there for a second there. I think what happened was someone actually thought they had to back out to reset the lobby, so they were down a player. You know, hats off to Ron deciding that he wasn't going to play against just 5. He wants to make sure we got the full roster in there. So as Team Wolfie's team starts to gear back up, jump back into the creative lobby, I'm sure we'll be back in just a jiffy. But hey, Team Ron was on top. It gives us more time to just talk about this.
And there was really only, what, a 73, maybe a little bit more than that point difference.
close.
So Wolfies still within contention of being able to grab that. There was a point there where they held all of the points, as well as Ronaldo. And it looks like, yeah, we're just going to be rushing through that first game right there so we can be moving on to game number 2 as well, just to be able to control the tournament series just a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. You know, want to make sure it continues to stay up to date. And again, we swing that point, that game 1 win into Ron. So we all know Ron's team did win game 1. It was a close game, though. 80 points, 70 points or so was the difference between the 2 full teams there. And, you know, I'm not sure what they could have done better. Both sides did a relatively great job maintaining the positions and the points. I know Wolfies didn't really give us the strategy that he was going to put into play, but if you had to, I guess, break it down a little bit, what do you think that we saw from Wolfies there? What was the strategy?
It was all about their team moving in together, and you can actually see Ronaldo's team kind of adapting that strategy as game number 1 went on. Wolfie's team moved as a troop together between A and B, or I'm sorry, C and B, so they were never really caught out. Anytime that Ronaldo's team came up in competition, it was always a 1v2, 1v3 against Wolfie's team. So Wolfie's team right now going to be working well, synergizing as a team, and that's going to be a huge deal. But now Wolfie's going to be taking taking the second height here on point B, grabbing some easy eliminations right now to start the game off.
Yeah, that one right there was onto Ronaldo himself, but there's two people here defending the flag. Whoa, good job by him. Great flick and a follow-up as well. Flex gets shut down, and this is now the fight back for the flag. Great positioning here as well, just to stay alive, and it's that little bit extra mile that he's going right now to stay up. That's going to allow him to maintain the C flag. Now, back on over to B. Rondo playing good defense here, tries to fight back for it. He gets shut down as well. So already Team 2 in the lead here. Team Wolfies kicking things off and starting off with some momentum, unlike the last game.
Ooh, yes, some clean shots again coming out of Wolfies here. It's like we're watching a new player right now, and he's going to be taking a rotation over to C as he sees that point going to the way of Ronaldo's team. Unfortunately, yeah, that Mythic right there taking a few shots, but he does not go down himself. However, the shots are beginning to fire, using a great job using the map to his advantage, but that is not going to be enough. Now it looks like Ronaldo coming back over to C just to hold it, and B going to the way of Ronaldo's team as well, but A is going to be sticking strong onto Wolfie's team. I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing a similar situation from the first match where just no one really cares about A.
Yeah, for the first time today, though, Wolfie's team did come in with the momentum out of that last round, and it does take a pretty substantial lead, about 60 or 70 points now, so things are starting to slowly dwindle backwards. This round's team fights back for CNC. They're doing a great job maintaining it so far. Defense looks to be pretty solid. Zork and Goofy are the ones over there on the B flag holding things down, but they are going to lose two of them there, so all of a sudden now Ron does have to enter back into the fray here, get back into the heart of the game.
That's a weird spot to be in, though. They had 2xC and Ronaldo there holding C, and then they both just kind of abandoned it for B, and clearly they were able to hold B, so that worked out in their favor, but now C is all alone. No one's there, and you can see Gabe X slowly making his way onto C, hopefully able to take it for himself. Wolfies does go down, though. Ronaldo holding C. He saw that there was going to be some players making their way over there, so he's going to stick strong and defend it. B possibly going to Wolfies, but no, it actually sticks true to Ronaldo's team, and Ronaldo thinks about moving over to B, but instead he is going to be staying on C point. And with none of his other teammates being here, I think that this is the smart play to make.
And look at how he's playing it out right now, just trying to keep a low profile here, stay on the side, you know, just messing around, showing off the map for his viewers as well. Don't forget, everyone is of course from their perspective, so got the other side of this all, but jump on over to Wolfies, continues to glance at the board, trying to do the math there. You recognize, hey, he's down about 40 points here, or up usually about 40 points, so they're doing okay, not as great as they were at the very, very beginning, but they're holding it just enough now, but it's back and forth here. It looks like Ron's team is really content with holding C this time around as opposed to fighting for A like they did in game 1.
Yeah, again, though, A has just kind of stuck to Wolfies, and as I say that, it actually slowly goes to Ronaldo's team, although I don't think they were able to clinch it there. Wolfies doing a great job grabbing that angle against the opposing player, not even aware that Wolfies is taking shots on him. However, this player is definitely aware that Wolfies is there.
Yep, great job here as well. Ron again holding down C. This has been his main priority, his main role. See shot calls from the back here. This is almost like captain play for real, in-game leader role kind of play here. Great job as well. And look, now these are the little things. These are like the little techniques that you want to use right here. Watch those exit points. Watch those spawn points. That's what they're doing since they have control of the general field. Now the shockwaves have to come out. Remember, that's another investment here. They have to hit those pads there and expose themselves.
That was so smart from Wolfies. What a great position. He's practically on top of B, but also has great vision onto the opponent's spawn. But he does go down himself, but that smile means that he's not completely out.
No, he's having a good time there. He is going to make the call, and of course, Wolfies just gets whacked with the scythe, and down he goes. Remember, that's a 240 damage shot. If you're not fully tanked out with the overshield and max HP, you're pretty much done. Nothing in the game can help you survive that one, unfortunately. Back on over to Wolfies, though. We've seen this same play. Kind of, he's just like throwing it at the wall, sitting with the sticks here, trying to go right through that door over and over.
He had the scythe out, but, you know, maybe he just wasn't close enough, didn't take a few shots, or maybe wasn't even aware that someone was there until it was too late. But with there only being a 17-point difference, Wolfies is in the lead. Ronaldo's not going to be freaking out too much just yet, especially after those clean shots on the player that wasn't even aware that he's there. But I do like what the opponent's doing right now, using those pillars to his advantage to grabs some shielding, and Ronaldo is actually going to convert over to the other side. Yes, that's what I love to see. Watching the situation, understanding where his opponent is, and then converting it.
Yeah, now we watch A and C fall at the same time, but this is good for Ronaldo because they needed to catch back up. Wolfie's team allowed the gap to get up to about 20 points and then broke it almost to a 100-point distance as well. So all of a sudden now you're just seeing that back and forth. It's like he gives a little, loses a little, and then takes it all back. And right now, Wolfie's team is dominating here. He's not happy after that game on loss. Ron runs right past Wolfie's there, so the call out comes through. Wolfie's barrels his way straight into B. Where is, oh, sorry, Ron barrels his way straight into B. Wolfie tries to peek back out. He gets shut down. Great job by Ron right now. This is the first time we're seeing Ron actually fight for B in quite some time, giving up that C hold. And now they're getting aggressive here as you're approaching the halfway mark.
But I feel like this aggression is kind of working against them, and that point lead is starting to get higher or larger and larger. And look, once again, Wolfie's team working as a group right now. Rarely will you ever see just one of them out, unlike Ronaldo's team. Being able to hold this B point, it is so important for the competition right now. C also going to the way, actually slowly converting, but not just enough going to their side. I'm sure Ronaldo is going to be holding that point over there, and they might be a little nervous, but they might not be nervous after taking 2xe down. A pro player, Ronaldo, now holding height and just focusing on that spawn.
Yeah, great job right here. This is the, again, giving that poison to the opponents here, constantly dishing it out, always watching those exit points. But this time, you know, it's not as effective when you don't control the mid flag, right? When you don't control this general area. Wolfie's team is, of course, fighting for the other flags on the sides, but this defensive hold has just been better. And notice how much they're committing in here. Remember, there's only 7 players on the team. They have about 4 inside the center of the map there, making sure they're putting a lot of resources into B and maintaining that defense.
Oh my gosh, almost a 200-point lead now for Wolfie's team. Whatever they did to change things up from game 1 to game 2 is definitely working out in their favor, and that classic smile from Ronaldo fades away as he begins to focus.
Yeah, definitely trying to get back into it. This game right now looking too hot for Ron as Wolfie claps back. You know, Wolfie's wasn't happy winning that first one. He definitely riled things up, I think, you know, kind of at the start. We definitely got a nice little friendly rivalry between the two. But so far, yeah, looking very, very good for Wolfies. It really does look like they figured something out. Things seem to be clicking. It's almost, you know, a cool, composed defense they have holding down right now. Wolfie's constantly staring at that point threshold as well. He's currently at 130 points above, roughly, but that point can swing really quickly, right? If 2 flags go down and then a couple Elans chain behind that, like, all of a sudden you're pretty much tied up or falling behind.
2 flags did go down, actually. Ronaldo's team was able to hold 2 points right there, but not C, and that's where Ronaldo does go down. Wolfie's doing a good job staying on top of the B site to get that vision, but there's only so much vision you can have because of those crates that actually block the C zone right there. And, you know, that has to just be a shout out to the creative builders right there, allowing some level of vision, but also you can't just have one vantage point give you the whole map.
Yeah, definitely. But as we start approaching the final stretch now, there's about 100 points separating Wolfie's team from a victory right now. If they can go ahead and just continue to hold this 2-point defense like they have, that's going to spell wraps for everyone else. Ron's team does not seem like they've managed to put together the puzzle fast enough this time around. They haven't cracked the defense that is Wolfie's and crew holding down this industrial center. And look, there it is. One more glance here. Wolfie's now is 80 points away from the victory. It's going to allow them to just double down. It's almost like, you know, it's going into Superman mode in the final stretch here. They're really feeling it.
Yes, there is over a 230-point lead now separating Ronaldo from Wolfies, and it might be out for this game, but still there is 3 potential matches to go from here.
Oh, for a second there, all 3 fell to the hands of Ron. See, and that's how the points can start to stagger back really, really quickly. Look, Wolfie's team dead still right now at 976. 3 players on the flag here are going to fight for that. They're fighting all the way for it. And no, Ron now under pressure by his side there. Ooh, he does just hit the shot. Okay, so this keeps him in the game. But That's what he needed. He needed it sooner. Unfortunately, the singular flag that they do hold is going to allow them to tick up to 999. That is a point away now. Can they earn that last one? Yes, they can. It's going to fall into the hands of elimination, and just like that, it's a back-and-forth game now. We have a 1-1 here.
Yes, that did say round 1 of 5, but there was an issue reloading into the game. So everyone, that is actually round 2 of 5 that just wrapped up. And just as Monster said, it is 1v1 right now. And we are just going to be hopping right back into the action. And honestly, I know it seems a little silly, but I think everyone having the same skin does give just a slight advantage to Wolfies.
You know what I noticed that was different about that game? That was the lowest amount of damage Wolfies has done all day long, but this is also the most amount of defense he's done, just holding B, that patience. So it's showing that his eliminations are more impactful than the other games, and that's probably the difference. But it was the same for Ron too. He had the lowest amount of damage that game, so they're really sitting back, calling the shots for their team, and most importantly, playing smart. Like, there's a difference, right? Playing for the objective, playing to win, and just playing to just be a brute, right? Just run out there, get damage, get healing, stuff like that. So Wolfie's playing a very good game, at least that second round there. Let's see if he continues to play that passive play.
Ooh, I mean, the competition is pretty close right now, and obviously it just started, so that doesn't mean too much. But Team 2 in the lead. Wolfie's team doing a good job. Ronaldo seems to be getting a little, you know, passionate right now.
He's a showsman. He's a showsman. You know, he likes to get into it. Yes, definitely. Though, you know, it's pretty frustrating winning that first game and then coming back, losing that second one. The momentum's gone now. You realize, hold up, it's not gonna be as easy as you might have thought, right? And all of a sudden now, he's still back to this strat. But this is really good. It worked out very, very well for him in the early game. Look at how he upgrades right there. He said, "Oh, you're gonna come up to high ground," and purchases up the big scythe here. And now he's just on juggernaut mode. He's gonna go all the way across.
On the roof.
I don't agree with that play right there. He wanted to go for the elimination, but the player was already gone on the launch pad, and he literally ran forward into the spawn zone of his opponent. So, of course, they were able to just eliminate him so cleanly, even though he jumped away to C-zone right there. So, although Ronaldo did a good job taking out some of the spawning players, jumping right in front of their spawn zone is only going to spell disaster. And disaster is actually what Wolfies is seeing right there, as Ronaldo's team closes in on point B. But Ronaldo and Wolfies going down in tandem, one by one. Can they stay alive long enough for us to actually watch some action?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have to watch this unfold here. B does go back to the hands of Rhodey here. Now, the last time we checked in with the points, he was about 80 or so above. So still managing to maintain that momentum coming out of last game. Once again, that slow, smart, methodical play here of holding B seems to be working out best. I would like to see Ron go back to trying to do the C/A strats to see if they can just control the outskirts, the perimeter, maybe mix things up and put Wolfie's trio or squad on their toes. Because essentially what's happening right now is they're not successful in retaking B here. But Ron with a great job holding high ground, almost fully clears things out. He goes down to Wolfies.
Yeah, Ron's kind of ignoring the objectives right now and instead taking point on height to eliminate everyone that is coming out of those spawn zones, which definitely can be beneficial. But being the team leader, you kind of need to lead your team to the points you need to communicate. And I don't know if that's what Ron's doing, especially in comparison to Wolfies, who's kind of leading the charge and taking over these points. But as I say that, he takes shots from every direction, getting down to 37 HP right there. But instead of leaving, he's actually going to rotate all the way to what I'll call the dead zone, or the dead side of that spot, and going in for the sneaky elimination. Ronaldo still staying on that spawn, and again, has some benefits, but they are losing now a player to be able to take those points. And all it takes is 2 of the opposing teammates to jump in at the same time, and that's exactly what we just saw right there.
Yeah, now high ground's going to go to the team of Wolfies. He's going to be able to cross for free inside of this building. And now, mind you, if Ron would have won that fight up top, if he had control of it, that would not just be as easy as it is to just get inside of these. So you're seeing how important it is to actually hold that high ground. As Wolfie's team, they just walk straight across now. There's no resistance up top. And just like that, they're back inside controlling it. So Ron's doing, I'd say, he's got the right idea. I want to see him have more backup up there, though, right? We don't really see Ron's team with them. They're not mobbing together. You got to work with one another and honestly flex these together. Because look, every time we jump onto Wolfie's perspective, he's got people right by him.
You do have to look at the opportunity cost, though. If you had 2 players up there with Ronaldo on the roof, and that means that there's only 5 players down on the low ground to try and take those points, and you can't just take 1 point because A point just seems to be ignored. Everyone is focusing C and B. B is actually to the way of Wolfies. C now to the way of Ronaldo, but Wolfies has said not too long. Actually, it looks like they're going to be swapping positions, and Ronaldo's going to be jumping over to B. C is still held, but we know that Wolfies was slowly making his way over there, and I haven't even seen the letter A on the screen.
Yeah, no, they're not even glancing in that direction. It's all been B to C fights right here.
Yeah, they're fucking us.
Action is really starting to take place here, and you know what? It's really going into the hands of Wolfies. Once again, continuing to hold, for the most part, those same 2 flags. You can see it's just a rinse and repeat type situation. Glance over to A, Ron recognizes, hey, A's still there. I'm willing to bet there's probably no one defending it either. So he's just sitting there idle. They want B so badly, though.
It is a 200-point lead for Wolfie's team right now, and this is the halfway mark. I think this might be the biggest separation at the earliest point in the game that we've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely. This is really Wolfie's game right now. Looking like his territory, his backyard. He glances over to A. He sees there is finally someone fighting back for it. He does have a teammate over there. Now here comes the backup. Sees the footsteps through the wall. Okay, goes right up. This is that map awareness. Comes right through the door. Something you don't see very often, and wins over Zork just like that. Recontrols A, retakes A. His team already owns C. They lose B in the process, though. But again, they have these 2 outskirt perimeters. For him, that's enough, and look how he just calls it down.
Yeah, he knows that just because he took it, that means that they are starting to focus on A a little bit. So instead, we've seen Wolfies kind of just immediately leave the extra zone and make his way on to B. But this time he says, no, I'm going to stick here. And just like that, he knew that another player was going to try and face him. And that's exactly what we just saw. And he was able to take that down and hold A now because of it. B going back over to Ronaldo, though. His team is trying to take it. Can he do it? Ronaldo able to claim B and C now. They need to earn even more points because it is still a 250-point lead for Wolfies.
Yeah, this is like a sigh of relief type moment where they finally get to get their footing back in. But notice how the points really started to slow down. Although Wolfie and crew have such a big lead, they didn't continue to grow that fast in the last couple of moments here. We're really watching Ron's team start to fight back here and control a little bit as they do start to lose B and A. So they're trailing behind, but I think they have a good enough amount of people up right now, right? Like that's what's important. Being alive, being pretty healthy. And so far, it does seem like that's happening. Oh, beautiful job right there. Pulling out the hunting rifle. Once again, we're seeing these different odd pickups from players like Ron. Earlier, we saw the shield bubble come into play at B. Love to see that. Now watching the hunting rifle come out. Not as effective out here. It's a lot harder to hit that shot, but hey, when you open up that big 90, I mean, that's huge.
So I think a lot that could potentially help Ronaldo's team right now. Unlike Wolfie's team, who are grouping up together, but they have great comms, I think Ronaldo's team, they are slowly starting to group up, but they don't have the angles that they need. So they kind of get caught out a little bit easier than Wolfie's team does. And Wolfie's team now looks like they're going to be holding this B spot quite easily right now. And the points, what do we got right here? Another 250-point lead for Wolfies right now. Ronaldo getting frustrated. I'm sure that after this game is over, they're going to be kind of collecting themselves and wondering what they need to be doing differently in game number 4.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that here at the face-off stage, the LG factory is the place to be, and if you don't have it, you're not having a good time. You're getting shut down, and you're losing all the points. Wolfies once again comes out on top. He's sitting upon the throne essentially here as they start coasting their way to a second victory to close things out here shortly. That 900-point threshold will be right around the corner any second now, but just hit a little reset, little recap right now, Kelly. If they end up taking this one, I mean, we're looking at a best of 5, right? That means that Ron cannot afford to drop another game. They have to pretty much reevaluate things, and with how fast these games have been going, how quickly, basically no downtime between the rounds. I mean, it's hard to get a mental reset.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, momentum is so important in this, and so is exhaustion. I mean, being able to like run the gauntlet, which is what we're seeing right now, is a big deal. And now we're going to be looking at Wolfies trying to take back this D point. It doesn't look like there's even a chance of Ronaldo claiming this game with them, with Wolfies' team already taking 9 925 points. So if I'm Ronaldo's team right now, I would be taking a mental break. Yes, keep playing the game, but they need to do something, some level of communication to be able to win the next game.
Yeah, definitely. Right here, here it is. The last 50 points, essentially. Ron tries his best to go back to A. And, ooh, that's a little salt in the wound. After Ron gets limited there, you saw the dance come out on top of the balcony. Just, you know, I guess payback after game 1, where he started dancing for that victory at the very end. So, you know, things are getting heated here on the main desk, on the main stage. Wolfies now. Ooh, okay, loses that little engagement there, but one more point, and there it is. Ron's upset. You can see the pain in his face. Wolfies feel pretty good.
Yeah, both hands behind his head. That's a good sign right there that he is relaxed, especially going into this potentially final game right now. Wolfies up 2-1 against Ronaldo. And just as you said, Monster, there is no time to rest. Rest is for the dead here, as they're going to be jumping back into the game. And it looks like immediately they make their way over to B zone right there. Wolfie's actually taking a moment to kind of just grab his bearings, see where everyone else is going. And he's going to be using this window peek right now to see where the rest of the competition is. Actually looking at the spawn point, which is an interesting play because everyone has already spawned.
Right. Trying to see if he catches any of the first elims that have to come back. There it is. Can he find the follow-ups? Nope. Wolfies with a bad exchange there. Doesn't hit a single tag. This is that reset. I mean, listen, they don't even get a break, guys. So how quickly we jump into this. The points go back to 0. I mean, it really just comes down to, can they take a quick, deep breath, essentially, jump right back in and pop off here, right? Not let their guard down, keep their defenses high, and their spirit high. This time around, okay, I like this play right now because this is what we saw in game 1. Ron holding C, playing a little bit slower, not necessarily frustrating himself. So I think he can do a great job defending. If his team can do a job fighting back for B the way they did last time, then we're going to see a good game from him.
I like that he's not just holding C, but then they also left the zone and they're hiding behind these crates. Although by jumping up, everyone knows where they are. They do have a better position right here to hold it. And you can see the opponent did know where they were, but Ronaldo just had a way better position there. But it doesn't matter how well you hold C when the other two zones are going to Wolfies. They need to change up their play style right now because Wolfies already has just a tiny bit of a lead against Ronaldo's team. And as I say that, it actually looks like B does go to Ronaldo now. But Wolfies and 2 other teammates are going to be dropping down in at the same time there. And that right there is going to be an easy takeover for Wolfies' team.
And they did the same thing again where they come in with a double scythe straight out of spawn. As soon as they lose this B flag, they literally double scythe up and just rush their way inside, take the factory by storm, and now they recontrol it. And look at that, they're starting to gain that point threshold, gain the advantage. Now, the one downside, of course, you see he can't fight back, so it is great and all to have that mythic weapon to go in and take it, but you are rendered defenseless on the high ground. So
you know, in a weird way, this kind of reminds me of a MOBA a little bit. You got 3 lanes here. The way that like a lot of these teams are spawning in and rotating into the zone. I know there isn't zones in MOBAs, but it's interesting. There's a lot more team synergy going on here, where they kind of have to. Sorry,
so
Ron.
brutal. Just bam, bam.
Yo, this guy's one shot.
But I think a lot of this comes down to communication and being able to rotate at the same time. Rarely do we ever see Ron jumping in with another teammate, unlike Wolfies, who's going in with potentially 2 other players with him before he takes his own.
I absolutely agree with you. One thing about those, you know, a MOBA is it's very, very team dependent. Communication, synchronizing with one another, and more importantly, filling in the roles, right, that one another might lack. So, you know, where Wolfies might have that close quarter, you know, mythic scythe, need that AR team to back you up, right? Otherwise, like you saw there, he just gets eliminated pretty easily. Little headshot right there. So you think Ron's shot's definitely on point. Not looking bad by any means. This guy wants to come in for the fight though. Okay, so Ron ready to bring it to him. He knows exactly where the entry point to this position he's holding is at. They end up playing a little bit smarter. They rush for C and could not take it. And look at this. End up losing B and A right now. So Ronaldo's looking very, very good for a second, but it seems like Steam is kind of slowing down right now. Steam hasn't quite been able to rumble their way back into B.
Oh no, Ron! Oh my god, literally dropping down below the crate, but just a sliver of health goes down, and Ron is going to be out in his position for C, meaning that that point is going to be open for Wolfie's team to take over, and you can see that lead that Ronaldo had starting to dwindle down right now, and in fact, Wolfies is holding C and B, but as I say that, C does go back to Ron. Ron seems pretty confident at the C point, and Wolfie says, that's going to be my point right now. Wolfie's taking a great shot right here, getting low himself, but does in fact eliminate Ronaldo. I was asking for it, the 1v1, and we finally got to see it.
Yep, and that was fresh off the spawn right there. This might be Ron coming right back into it too. Remember, there's really no downtime when you get eliminated. Here they are, already starting to respawn. They have that jump pad right there as well, so it allows them to get right into the action. And one thing we saw really cool and utilized by Ron is that when he gets under fire and he's up on the tiger, he actually switched to this scythe, because the scythe has a couple of movesets, right, that allow you to basically dash and jump across. So, little tech plays like that just prove that, Ron, don't forget, guys, is also a professional player, one of the FNPS squads champions. So, showing that he's got what it takes to play competitively as well.
It's wild. Yeah, he got first place in squads back in 2019. And to be able to be on this level of competitive for 3 years is absolutely insane.
It's impressive. It's impressive. There's one thing that Fortnite players do really well is just being able to maintain that, that skill, right? Like just for years and years on end, whether or not they practice as much as they might have at the beginning. It's still super impressive to watch them continue to translate that on over. And now, like, with the whole Fortnite Zero build, right, really taking the game by storm, I mean, we're looking at something that's a completely different environment, right? It's pretty much a brand new product. So these types of tournaments, like these creative tournaments, with the manslaying, with the sprinting, they're very different to what we used to see back in the day. Like anything like what we saw back in the day. The sprinting alone changes the dynamic of the game big time.
Yes, it's absolutely wild. I mean, so many FPS pros coming back to Fortnite. So many people that we saw kind of leave Fortnite in the last 2 years, all of them coming back right now for this no build, because although, yes, the younger kids might have, those cranks unlocked and everything, it's a lot about, being able to frag out, and that's what a lot of these FPS players are coming back now with no builds, grabbing those eliminations. Ronaldo now shifting his focus onto this low ground defense, and unfortunately someone coming from behind knew exactly where he was right there, and he does go down. But of course we have to focus back on to B right now, because that is where most of the action is, but not for Ronaldo. He is completely ignoring B, and he's going to be heading on over to the C point right now, because that is where he is the most comfortable, that's where he's the most successful, and success is name of the game right now as he successfully takes this point back for his team.
Nicely done here. Okay, finally now we're starting to see them get a little momentum, gain a little point favor here. Can they continue to hold it here? They finally have C and B, one of the few times they've managed to maintain the two. And again, this hunting rifle is really, really deadly in Ron's hands. There's not many other players playing with a variety like this and that right there. That headshot really showing why it is worth holding a sniper in hand at times. Difficult to use, rewarding when you hit those shots.
Let's go Ron right now. I'm loving this. He keeps changing up his position. At first he's standing on top of the crates, then he went behind the crates, but he knows that the enemy team has great communication, so they keep relaying where Ronaldo is. So he is changing up his position every single time he goes down to have a bit of an advantage, so that the opponent doesn't know where he's going to be. And he's holding this point by himself right now, and you can see A is not even slightly changing over to the way of Ronaldo's team. They are completely ignoring it. Instead, they are focusing B and C, and that is working out for them in spades right now. Another shift of the rotation there, and the opponent is able to take them down, but Ron is going to pop right back and take that spot.
Extremely important fight for Wolfies and Ron's just unfolded, both of which they lost. So Ron's team manages to maintain B because Wolfie's going to fight back for it. And then, of course, Ron's team ends up losing C because Wolfie is on top there. So here it is. This is kind of like his backyard where he's most comfortable. Sight in hand. This is Wolfie's swings, though, unfortunately. And just like that, he is down and out. This is very much important. Lost time. A triple cap comes in for Wolfies. And Kelly, that might just start spelling it out for us right now, as those are going to be big points swinging into the favor of Wolfies here.
It is such a close competition, especially when we looked at the last 2 games right now. Easily going to the way of Wolfies. Ronaldo finally doing what he can, although he can't get those shots right there. He is aware of where the opponent landed, but can Ronaldo clean up this fight? It got close, but he did, and now he's going to be making his way back to his home base at C right now, and he has good vision. He knows that they don't know where he is, so he's going to grab some clean eliminations there and take C back for himself. Team 2 actually in the lead right now, but with Ronaldo claiming C point, B is actually not in their way. They're going to have to rotate over back to B if they want to take over Wolfie's position, because this is it potentially, Monster. Wolfies already has 2 wins. Ronaldo can't lose another game.
Yeah, and we're already breaking into the last stretch now. It's the final mile here, guys. Over 900 points for Team Wolfies here. They have B, they have A, they don't have C, but they have, you know, just spectacular defense here. It's the Ultra, the LT Ultra giving face-off right now. Wolfies just popping off here. Look at all the feet on the cursor there. He's doing a great job working all around it. Fights back for a glance at the leaderboard. Notices he's in the lead, and he is feeling good right now. Once again, Wolfies just has to hold defense and win this game out. He's at 54. Make that 55 eliminations in total.
He doesn't want to hold the defense, though. He wants, okay, for a second it looked like he was going to pop back on over to C there to try and get the triple point, but instead it looked like Ronaldo's team was going in for B there, so Wolfies disengages, and the victory is already out. Whoa, that was out of nowhere, Monster.
It crept up pretty quickly, those Elans. Remember, they start to give you points as players start to spawn in, and they took control. I knew it was over basically at that moment. Once they took that triple flag there, Kelly, I mean, that was it. That was a pivotal moment for them. They earned tons of points, and just like that, it's changed.
Incredible right there. Wolfies is going to be your LG UltraGear face-off featuring Fortnite champion. Incredible. We saw how it just wasn't even a competition against Boop. And then going up against Ronaldo, he loses the first game and then says, okay, here's our strategy. Here's what we're going to do. And it worked out. Technically going 3-1 in that final bout.
Definitely, and look at the highlights here as we just kind of recap the moment. What a fun game. The finals were awesome. Very much interesting to watch unfold. Ronaldo with those first couple of games was quite the show. And his interview was also quite the spectacle as well as he started to gear up for this last game. But hey, Wolfies kept that attitude and he brought that work like he said he would.
Yeah, it truly, to me, I think it was the way that just Wolfie's team worked and synergized together. Anytime that they had to take a point, there was at least 3 of them, where in comparison, we would see Ronaldo's team have great 1v1s, 1v2s, but they weren't really synergizing the same way that Wolfie's team was. Ronaldo focusing on the B site for the first match that we saw with him going up against Rhodey, but then shifting on to C there, and although he was able to grab some great defensive eliminations, unfortunately it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, it was Team Wolfies who was definitely popping off. You can see his team doing just that as well. A lot of these highlights are of course coming from Team Ronaldo because they did put up a valiant fight and effort, but in the end it just wasn't enough. It was Wolfies who played, again, a different kind of play. That last round, you know, he came in with a new strategy. He was more patient. It was pretty clear that they knew how to play B at that point, but the one thing we saw from him that was just better than everyone else, it was that team synergy. Honestly, using the mythics, utilizing the loadouts correctly at the same time, and like we said before, barreling into B at the same time. All these highlights, when they're inside the heart of that flag, they are together. There's like a lot of them there cross-firing and supporting each other.
Yeah, incredible plays. Also, I do want to say that Wolfies definitely utilized the A spot. Rarely ever was there any kind of competition from Ronaldo's team to take that there. Unlike C point, which seemed to be Ronaldo's focus, where a lot of times a few people would like drop in and being able to kind of claim it for just a few seconds, or at least keep Ronaldo's team defending C. It seemed like Wolfie's team didn't necessarily have to defend A. They had someone on height at B, being able to be kind of like, eyes in the sky to see if anyone was even going to contest A, and it just didn't seem like that was the case.
Yep, and then right there, the winning moment, the lax look, he sits back, those hand in the air, and says, yes, we got this. And remember, guys, everyone here is still a winner, though, if they made it to finals. Ultimately, everyone gets paid. You just don't get paid as much as Wolfies right now, who is, of course, going to take the big prizing. He's going to get split with his team there. What was this, a 20K face-off, so pretty big deal.
Yeah, big shout outs to all of our teams, all of our players, and of course you guys as well. Hopefully you won a $50 Amazon gift card by following this Twitch channel and answering some quiz questions that we gave you in chat. So thank you guys for being a part of that. And if you also want to be a part of UltraCity, although I know that the code is gone now, you can literally Google UltraCity and that island code will be there for you to play.
Yeah, good point. You can queue into the island. Honestly, use that public matchmaking that Epic offers inside Creative. It'll pair you up with other players. Just kind of give it a shot, give it a whirl. It's one thing to watch via broadcast, another thing to get immersed into the scene there. It does look like our interview is ready though. Wolfies, who was talking that talk, steps up, comes through, wins the game. Wolfies, can you hear us?
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Yes, sir. We hear you. Can you hear us?
Hello.
hey,
You hear us?
Wolfies.
Yo, what's up?
I mean, you tell us, man. You just beat out Ronaldo 3-1.
Well, to be honest, it was expected, so it's not a surprise to me.
Hey, man, you definitely was talking it. You stepped up. I don't know, though, that first game. Tell us what happened in that first game.
To be honest, we were just learning their play style, and then once we realized their game strategy, then it was easy for us.
Well, break that down a little bit. What was their game strategy that you were able to kind of use against them?
They stuck together a lot. So then what we did is that we had one person on A, and then they were going from C. They were taking B as a full team, and then rotating to C. And then we just stuck one on A, and then played C and B, and then we were just chilling.
Yeah, nicely done. I mean, hey, you guys popped off. I'm sure your team's pretty happy. They get to win a little bit of cash here today, so it's a bonus across the board. What are you guys gonna do after this? Maybe celebrate as a little squad.
Yeah, my boys are definitely excited. I'm excited as well. Yeah, we're really happy.
Awesome. I mean, final thoughts on this LG UltraGear face-off event and the map that you got to play in?
To be honest, I actually really enjoyed it more than I thought. It was really competitive, like I actually got an adrenaline rush from like playing against Ronaldo, and it was really fun to play.
Well, I mean, thank you so much, Wolfies, for joining us here, and congratulations again on being the first place winner for the LG UltraGear face-off, and hopefully we get to see you soon.
Yeah, thank you for the invite.
That
Awesome.
right. Wolfies coming out on top, beating out Coach Boop 2-0, and then facing off against stable Ronaldo in a best-of-5, and actually takes him down 3-1.
Yeah, great job today for Team Wolfies. Dominant performance across the board. Every game that they jumped into, they made it look pretty simple after they figured things out. That's that brain of the IGL, the captain there, Wolfies. And I love what he said there. Little insight into kind of the professional player's mind is he's got an adrenaline rush. One thing you got to remember is a lot of these guys, they don't get a kick out of doing the usual day-to-day. Like for most of us, we'd be sweating as we start to jump into things, but for them, they keep nice and cool. But our champion, Team Wolfies, first place, $2,000, of course, split up, and look at how much their team gets to break away with, a little $1,600 a piece. Very nice for them.
Yeah, Jay, Gabby X, Phoenix, Groovy Gorilla, Wobbly Whale, and J-Ron going to be walking away with $1,600 each, and Wolfies walking away with $2,000. You know, extra captain cash. You get paid a little bit more, but I'm sure that him and his team are feeling pretty good after that competition in Ultra City. And all of that is thanks to the LG UltraGear face-off. So again, shout outs to LG for putting this on and to invite all these players, and also to our captains bringing on a lot of incredible players.
Yeah, and for us as well, right? We got pretty much a brand new treat being able to check out creative. You know, it's not every day we get to really, you know, see cool things like this happen. So honestly, I think it brings a lot of value to the Fortnite scene, the Fortnite space, and also highlights what creative can be like, right? Especially a little fun creator competition like this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely take a chance, chat, to check out creative, especially this map, but maybe also you yourself can create an incredible creative map. We've seen so many third-party tournaments utilizing creative, so check it out yourself. It's pretty much just a game development within a game. So you might be able to create an incredible map, just like what we saw from, oh gosh, where are
Beyond.
you? I wrote, who?
Oh, I was gonna say Team Beyond, of course, coming in and hooking things up, right? So yeah, the maps that they make are just exceptional, and this is one of the many, right? They do different types of things all the time. Obviously today we saw this type of domination style, you know, competitive play where you kind of play this style. But the thing about Fortnite Creative is the sky is the limit, and yeah, what we see from Beyond Rank and what they build is awesome. They have tons of different types of stuff out there.
Well, Monster, this was an absolute pleasure. Again, shout-outs to our incredible captains, Ronaldo, Rhodey, Wolfies, and Coach Boop. Shout-outs to you guys and to all the players that we saw competing today. But on behalf of LG UltraGear Face Off, we appreciate you all, and we can't wait to see you next time.